All right, gentlemen, we are live. So,
Indeed.
basically, Ryle, um, Myth has been reading Twilight. Did you actually read chapter 2 yet, or like,
No, I only did chapter 1.
Okay, okay. And we
Like the
basically
original.
figured out that Bella is a bitch.
Oh.
Very much so.
And the writing is kind of, it's, you can tell it's tailored for teenage girls.
Yes.
Wait. Which part encapsulates her bitchiness the most?
Not even trying to remember people's names despite literally just hearing them.
She basically to a town with a new
Like,
school
here's a
and shit.
name and says, I forgot it as soon as I heard it.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, every person who's nice to her, she ignores. And then the only people who are ignoring her, she just focuses on.
And also, her thoughts about Charlie.
Oh yeah. What about that one pimply kid that she just I don't know. I felt like she just dunked on him. All right. Okay. I think the dude who's currently reviewing my story is done for now. I think he'll probably keep going. He's reading entire chapters, like 4,000 word chapters in 4 minutes.
Oh,
Wait,
dang.
no, 3 minutes. Like at 9:56 p.m. review on chapter 26, 9:59 p.m. review on chapter 27.
Oh no.
Oh, he's
He's
speeding
not
through them
reading.
like
He's skimming.
It reminds me of Lord Harrimont and his was that the one? And his comment on why would I need to read them thoroughly?
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right.
Them.
Yeah, like, if you're reading that large of a chunk that fast, you're not reading, you're skimming.
He's going through them faster than I go through a pile of Kit Kat candy bars. All right.
More of a Reese's guy myself.
Butterfinger is the way to go.
Butterfinger is just knockoff Reese's.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That was a horrible thing to say.
Oh yeah, after the stream, I kind of want to watch Wolf of Wall Street. Don't ask me why. I just want to watch it.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You want to see it? Do you have time tonight,
Sure.
Myth?
I don't have anything.
Dylan has to sleep.
It's my weekend, and I'm pretty good about not having an actual schedule and still being able to function.
All right, no, I'm the same. Some days I wake up at 6. Other days I wake up at 2 p.m. Like it's confusing.
Like, I have my set schedule during the week, and then the weekend I have no schedule, and I'm fine.
Okay. Recap. From what I remember, they did the reunion. Actually, multiple reunions. You know, because
oh yeah,
Jon and Rob, and then we discussed Jon and Alice. I mean Red Roach. I'm sorry. I have to remember his name is Red Roach. And Ned Stark, the timid little bunny rabbit. Oh yeah, and he called.
Did we
Catelyn
make it back to Winterfell yet?
Yeah, that's right. Because I remember that previous chapter.
Has a nose been broken yet? I forget.
He did make fun of Theon's nose.
Yeah, like, his nose is still broken.
Years later, his nose is still broken.
We had the Arya-Jon reunion.
Yeah, Arya-Jon reunion, and Arya went to sleep, and she did not hear her father open her door to check on her.
Honestly.
And Catelyn wasn't thrilled that Jon is back.
There can be no Arya-Jon reunion worse than the one we got in the show, season 8.
Dude, that was so tepid.
Especially after reading the books and when she put Needle away, the thought she had.
It was like killing herself. But anyway,
also don't forget that Ned is throwing longing looks after Jon.
Oh yeah. He's still pining for.
Still pining after his nephew.
I was gonna say the little guy, but Jon is taller than he is now, so I can't say that.
Still pining after his beloved sister's son.
Yes. Derk said the confrontation was a bit tame, so we're about to see what he delivers in the next chapter.
That was just the tip of the iceberg. Oh, dear. Lies.
Titled Lies.
Oh, yeah. Last chapter, Ned was planning to tell Jon
Ashara.
it's Ashara that's his mother,
That's
not
right.
knowing that Jon has already met Ashara.
So essentially, we oh my god, the title
and the
spoilers
viewers are
the
all,
entire
oh my
chapter.
god, he's so stupid for doing this when it's actually a good plan. He just doesn't have all the information.
So who thinks Ned is going to get punched?
He's gonna get punched.
100%.
Jon has already threatened him.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it. Actually, what is he doing? Busy the last couple of weeks. Apologize. Try my best for years. Plus, blah blah. Okay, we're done. Jon. I'm alive now. Let me just sit up in my chair so I sound majestic. The morning rays broke through the slats of the window covers and into his old room, a room that held all types of memories. Some good, most bad. He remembers the miserable nights he spent trying to get to sleep, but kept awake instead. His mind would wander. His wandering would turn to worry, mainly worrying about his future. This is annoying here. Because he would go from like wander and then an entire part of the sentences about wandering and then worry leads into this. I don't like this kind of writing. Anyway, he
I
stretched his
just chunk
entire
out that
body.
middle part. His mind would wander, mainly worrying about his future. And
Exactly.
it's fine.
I feel like the dude was like, I need to sound more epic and dramatic. He stretched his entire body under the furs. The crack from his back felt like heaven. The crack from his back? I'm confused.
I think he's saying his back popped and it felt nice.
Oh! I was thinking something completely different. His butt crack? What's going on here? Anyway. His night's sleep had its interruptions, but at the end of the day, he couldn't complain. Sleeping in his childhood bed gave him an extra comfort he didn't think he would feel. He also didn't expect to even have a childhood bed anymore. He thought that this room would have been completely stripped by now, but obviously someone didn't have the heart to do such a thing. Almost like somebody had a guilty conscience, he thought. Really? This is the reasoning why someone would keep
somewhat like, or a parent like keeping their child's room who they think is probably dead. Like
that happens with a lot of parents that lose their children.
Yeah.
That's
like
what an
guilty conscience is not necessary.
You're wrong. It's a guilty conscience, all right? You guys don't know what you're talking about.
What an absolute ass.
I'm surprised Catelyn didn't insist on throwing everything out. Just to show how evil she is.
It would make more sense for her to have already cleared it out.
I'm imagining her throwing it all his stuff into a big pile in the yard, setting it on fire and dancing around it.
Yeah.
You'd have a scene with Arya watching it from the distance and crying. How could she be so evil?
I can literally see it in my mind. It's so horrible.
You'd have the Stark theme violin as Arya is watching this, and you see the reflection of the fire in her eyes.
And in the background, Ramsay is holding his broken nose.
God damn it!
You mean Theon?
Ramsay is dead though.
Yes, Ramsay never got a broken nose. He died too fast.
I'm very surprised.
He got a broken entire body. There you go.
I mean, he got eaten.
He got chomped.
I'm very surprised
man.
his death wasn't worse, to be honest.
No,
I mean,
what?
remember how lazy his death was? I mean,
Yes.
Died in a split second. Didn't even know who he was fighting. He sat up. Oh, I like it. And swung his legs off the bed, rolling his neck. He noticed his recently collected bags. The interruption in the middle of the night was the explanation for their presence at the moment. An interruption in the form of a very big and a very annoyed dragon. Wait.
Wait, Kirena came to Winterfell in the middle of the night and dropped
didn't-
off his bags.
yes.
What?
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 In his room.
Rising sun, ladies and gentlemen.
My theory is getting more evidence. Karena will have a human form.
Okay, now next sentence.
Kirena had scared the living shit out of him in the middle of the night. Thank the gods she had the sense not to make an actual appearance in Winterfell. She just decided to make an abrupt appearance in his dreams instead.
No, she doesn't need a human form. She can appear in one in his dreams.
Oh
He
no.
didn't even know she could do. Wait, so she appeared in his dreams and gave him his bags, and they appeared in the real world?
Oh God, it sounds like Star Wars. Oh no.
Starring Rey Skywalker.
It hurts my soul.
All right. Turned out it wasn't something he should have been incredibly worried about. She was just annoyed with the bags that were still tied to her back. He didn't expect her to be so stroppy about it, but clearly she wasn't impressed with having to lug his bags around when she didn't need to be. Bro, she is a fucking 80-foot tall what was it?
She's
100
not
feet?
gonna notice his bags on her back.
Yeah.
Like 20 pounds at best is what he's carrying.
No, he's the super Chad. He's probably carrying 100,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's why she can't carry it. That's right. Never mind.
Jon is officially stronger than the dragon.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you could probably like flick the dragon in the nose and send it flying into a mountain.
I mean, so far the dragon is only mentioned if he's traveling somewhere and having to carry something.
Oh, okay. I'm understanding what happened here. Sneaking out of Winterfell had been easy 3 years ago. After many lessons from Master M, Master M, he could have done it with his eyes closed. Sneaking back in was a little bit more difficult, but he still managed it with relative ease.
He taught him while wearing a leather outfit.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Thank you, Dylan.
You're welcome.
Kirena had been very happy to see him. Either that, or she was just glad to get those bags off her back. Giving her a kiss on the snout.
So, my theory gains more weight.
A ray of sunshine
Every chapter, it gains more weight.
and a scratch under her jaw before she sprang back up into the night sky without a trace. After the huge mess she'd made in Hornwood Forest, she seemed to be a little caring of her surroundings now.
He shouldn't need to use a literal spear to make her feel anything with a scratch.
Yeah, like he should be taking his dragon steel swords to scratch her.
I mean,
And even
Those
then,
things-
it would just tickle.
those things are uber god swords. They cut right through her neck.
I'm disappointed again.
He just has to use inferior Valyrian blades.
Oh yeah, that's right. Valyrian, yeah, those aren't worth anything anymore. They can just use them to scratch her and use it as a toothpick for her or something.
Yeah, that's all.
Right.
That's all Blackfire and Bright Roar are worth anymore.
Yep.
Now that he has
So
his
much-
glorious Nippon Dragon Steel.
It hurts.
Ah, glorious nipple and dragon steel. Now
I'm
he
sure-
was.
I'm sure his glorious Nippon Dragon Steel could cut through Superman.
I mean,
Oh yes.
it's magic.
Zero's favorite grammar is upcoming.
Yes. Now he was sat there on his bed, staring at the bags that contained his clothes, valuables, and 2 very dangerous swords to be found in possession of. I should really get these swords back to their respective owners soon, he thought to himself. Oh, wow, you thought of that just now? What about the
What?
time where you flew right over the Western lands and forgot to give the sword to the rightful owner?
He shouldn't be
Or
carrying
when he
them.
flew right over King's Landing and forgot to give the sword to the rightful owner.
I have
Pretty
a
much.
horrid feeling he's going to give them back without asking for any payment.
Oh, it
Oh
feels
yeah,
like it.
obviously.
It hurts.
I have a
He didn't-
horrid feeling he's not going to give Blackfire back until everyone knows about who he is.
Oh God. No,
I
he's
mean,
going to use Blackfire against inferior
And the
opponents.
royal family is just going to tell him that he can keep it because he's a prince.
Yeah.
He's going to
probably.
use it against inferior opponents and only draw his glorious Nippon Steel against worthy opponents.
He didn't know how to go about doing that, though. Oh, hello. My name's John, and I just happened to have come across this sword. I think it might belong to you, he thought amusingly. Amusingly? Who is he kidding? He was probably gonna be as straightforward as possible with them. From the stories he'd heard from Garyon, he was quite looking forward to meeting the great Tywin Lannister. Oh, I can tell he wants to just get on his knees and just worship the man. He just have to take Garyon's warning into consideration and be careful what he said.
Oh no.
He didn't want Kirena turning it into casterly dust if any harm came to him because of something stupid he'd said.
What the?
Casterly dust.
First of all, that's even in universe and to himself. That shouldn't be a good joke. The joke should have been casterly crystal. If anything,
Her Godzilla breath turns into crystal. That's right.
Unless he just means she's gonna just land on it and crush it underneath her because she's big.
even
And
she's not that big.
she is if the plot needs her to be.
No, please no.
Oh. No. Where's the mistake here? Could you guys tell?
The entire fan fiction.
All right. Okay. Good point. But I meant
Turning
this.
it.
Turning
it's
what?
Never mentioned. It's never mentioned that he's in Casterly Rock at the moment. The sentence before is talking about Tywin, so basically it would be turning Tywin into.
Yeah, turning
Dust.
Tywin into casterly dust.
Also, why do I have this feeling that the author is going to try to make Tywin super competent and fail miserably and make him super stupid?
You know what? Your feelings have not betrayed you so far. So
And I like Tywin as a character. Don't get me wrong.
I have a feeling that they're gonna make Tywin suck Jon's dick for giving him the sword.
probably.
Honestly,
Would you marry me, Jon Snow? I will legitimize you.
was it 1.5 million dragons he offered for a sword that wasn't Bright Roar? Or was it just 1 million?
Something like that.
It was a hefty sum.
Either way, imagine what he would offer for Bright Roar.
I'd offer you for Bright Roar. All right.
I
wonder
can't
if you'd be
if this
willing-
guy
I
just
wonder
said
if
I'm
you'd
pretty
be
much
willing
worth
to acknowledge Tyrion.
I mean, we all know that Jon is a good guy and he's going to give it back for free.
That doesn't make him a good guy. That makes him an idiot. Also,
No.
Zero, you just put me on par with Valyrian Steel. Thank you.
All right.
I wonder if he would be willing to acknowledge Tyrion's worth in exchange for Bright Roar.
Maybe if Tyrion brought Bright Roar.
Probably not.
I'm imagining Tyrion trying to wield it.
I mean, Valyrian steel is lighter, so he might be able to.
Even if you had a 5-pound sword and it was the size of a house, it'd still be the size of a house.
Look, man. We don't use logic here, all right?
Not against this fic, but against you, yes.
He sighed. He missed Garyon. Hopefully it wouldn't be too long before he'd be seeing him again. He'd made the man a promise after all. Wow, it's almost like he could have brought him with him to Westeros.
Oh, he made him a promise. Does he have a ring to enforce it?
He was asked to tell Garyon's daughter about her father, but Jon had another idea. It was a mad plan that might not even be necessary, but if the girl was treated like any other bastard, the chances were high that he would go through with it. Let me guess, he's going to take her to Japan.
Yeah, obviously.
And marry her.
Whoa.
I mean,
No.
obviously, she's a female in Westeros. She has to be one of his wives.
No, she's a bastard. She's a slave.
No, Jon wouldn't enslave another bastard. He would enslave the nobleborns.
That doesn't matter in Japan, Dylan.
I think what this story needs is a list.
By the way, you finished that other list, didn't you, Miff?
Yes, I finished King of Magic. That's why I started Twilight.
So did he ever go back to Hogwarts?
No, like they literally just did went back in time on the island. So,
And King of Magic is now in Myth's favorites and follows.
Yep.
I hate
He
myself.
does love that sort of sorting.
And it might be updated, so you might have to keep reading it. Also, he's not just reading Twilight. He is reading Twilight
in preparation for that other fan fiction.
No. What are the other books in the series? Breaking Dawn.
Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn.
Breaking Wind? What?
What?
I don't remember the newest one.
That would be Midnight Sun.
Midnight Sun. Yeah.
With a picture of a pomegranate on the cover.
You like pomegranate.
Pomegranate's good, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a reference to Hades and Persephone.
Oh. Well, I don't know about
be
that.
surprised.
Now, I know Myth is looking forward to Edward's point of view in Midnight Sun.
And whether or not Kirena was open to the idea of it. He scrubbed his face and rubbed the sleep from his eyes as he stood up and walked to the bowl of tepid water to wash his face. Bringing your attention to these.
Why is it tepid? Why?
It's
Wait,
tepid,
what?
It's tepid, but then it's instantly cool afterwards.
No. Did he cool it down with his unknown ice magic?
He's so he's just
He's
that
just
cool,
so
all right?
cool that he makes the water cool by proximity.
See?
That was probably what Derk was going.
No, Derp was accurate.
It's okay. It works. Anyway, the cool water somehow is thoroughly waking him up in the process. Today was the big day. The day he would get the truth out of his father, even if he had to beat it out of him. Ooh. He's going to beat his father.
That's going to get a broken nose.
No, he's probably going to be unconscious and can't answer anymore, and John's going to be pissed.
You get the shit kicked out of him.
Technically, if the water has been sitting there all night, it would make sense for it to be cool in Winterfell.
Yeah, but it's tepid.
I know, and it sucks.
Well, there is the fact that the walls of Winterfell are warmed by the hot springs.
True.
But how is
it
it
doesn't make
also
sense either
cool?
way.
Yeah, the problem is that it's both, not that it's one or the other.
You have
Yep.
to resort to that. Would you have to pay the consequences for attacking the Lord Paramount of the North?
What consequence? He has a
Consequences
fucking dragon.
for Jon Snow. He didn't have consequences when he was still the bastard without a dragon, remember?
Yep.
He called Catelyn Cantlen. He punched Theon and 3 guards.
The Thunder
Nothing ever
Gun.
happened. Nothing ever happened to him.
Also,
What's up?
never mind.
All right.
No, we want to hear it.
I can't remember.
Oh.
Wow. Almost like
What
you
a
just
what
got
a cop
memory
out.
charmed. I think Dumbledore
Memory charmed what?
charmed him.
47 times.
Doubt Kidana would allow something like that to happen anyway. All of a sudden, there was an incessant banging on his chamber door. Somebody's keen, he thought. He dressed as quick as he could, pulling a tunic over his head in the process of walking towards the door, which was now shaking at the hinges with how hard it was being hammered at. Oh, keep this in mind.
And then continue.
He whipped the door open and looked at the culprit with narrow eyes that immediately softened when he saw who it was. "You're up," his little sister chirped as
Oh
she
my
walked into his
fucking-
room.
Arya is
Arya's a beast.
Again, I wish I could hit a door so hard it starts shaking at the hinges.
not
Meanwhile-
just a door. These doors are thick wooden doors.
Why would they be made of ironwood?
Most
And
likely,
why?
it's
freaking
Winterfell.
Winterfell.
Yeah.
They aren't these flimsy doors we have nowadays that aren't good for anything. They're thick wooden doors that should.
Yeah, they're not going to
Man.
be shaking at the hinges from a knock.
Look, Arya has always been very super strong. That's how she was able to jump to the Night King and kill him.
Yeah.
Dylan's favorite scene.
Yeah.
All right.
Ignoring the plot problems with that, just the physical problems of the angle of her jump. Like, that scene made no sense. Like,
If you're
Flopped
talking
herself
about,
on the furs. What is it?
if we are talking about plot holes in season 8, we will be here all night. So
Yeah.
that's not.
let's not.
Season 8 is Dylan's favorite season. I know he's AFK right now. That's why I'm making these jokes. I'm a dick. Anyway, flopped herself on the furs of his untidy bed.
Oh no.
An unapologetic smile plastered on her face as he attempted to scowl at her but failed miserably. I guess he should have been a comment here. Anyway, he could never be mad at Arya. Annoyed sometimes, but never mad. Pretty difficult for somebody to sleep through that racket. Who knew somebody so small could cause such a big pain in my arse? He said as he moved across the room and grabbed his dark blue gambeson. Oh, he's wearing a gambeson? I thought he lived in Japan.
What is a gambeson?
It's armor. It's cloth armor. Well, leather armor-ish. It's hard to explain. It's basically padded armor that they used to wear back in the old days. And you would put chainmail over it, or you would put plate armor over it, or if you couldn't afford any of that, you just wear the gambeson as is.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. The gambeson in question was one of his favorites. Garion had told him wistfully that it brought out the color in his eyes.
Oh. Oh no!
Oh Lord!
Oh
No, you're probably right that I didn't explain it right, Lucifer. Also, hello.
I guess only Jon really knows John eyes.
Oh no.
The man just laughed when he'd replied that it would bring out the color of his nose with his fist if he didn't shut it.
John's a
Arya
Tsundere,
smiled.
Jon.
Yeah, John's a tsundere. He's like ready to beat people up. Arya's smile grew as she leapt from his bed and started sniffing around his bags. Sniffing?
What is she, a dog?
Oh. Yeah, she's kind of, yeah. I mean, the
She's a
Starks are
wolf.
wolves. They sniff. You're not mad. Just admit it. You missed this. Whoa.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
What exactly did she miss? You missed here. All right. She said as she fiddled with one of the straps on his bag. The bag with 2 Valyrian swords, he soon realized. He realized his mistake when he moved across the room in a flash and batted her hand away from the bag. A cheeky grin emerged on her face, like a game had just been initiated. She knew he was hiding something now, and she'd make goddamn sure to find out what it was, the way Arya always did. Not making sure. She's making goddamn sure, and you better remember it.
Well, of course.
You're right, I did miss this, he said as he moved the bag to the other side of the room, his little sister's eyes glued to it. But I didn't miss you snooping. What's in the bag? She interrupted. He tried to play it cool as he placed the bag on the floor near the window. Unfortunately, the noise it made when he did put it down didn't help in cooling her intrigue. If anything, it fueled it. Nothing for you, that's what. Why are you here so Earl? Is it my present? Is it a sword? I've always wanted a real sword. Mother says I shouldn't be playing with swords, but I always wanted to learn how to use one properly. Why does it sound so wrong when she says it to John?
Because everything that Derk writes sounds bad like that.
It's not just that. Like ignoring the obvious unwanted thoughts that you would get by reading this. Why is she telling him that her mom says that she shouldn't be playing with swords? He already knows. I just because
She
he's been
kind
gone.
of forgot about that.
Oh no.
Also, he's been away for some time, so maybe she changed her mind.
Wait, why'd you gotta bring those two back in here? She kind of forgot. You know, Danny kind of forgot that there was a plot.
Dan and
All right.
Dave kind of forgot that there was a plot.
Me, Bran, and Rick sneak out into the Godswood sometimes and practice with sticks. Sometimes Jory, captain of the household guard, in case any of you didn't know, finds us and teaches us little tricks instead of telling on us. I like Jory, captain of the castle guard. Can I have my sword now? Please? She rambled on.
What?
He sighed. I swear to God, if he gives her Bright Roar as a present...
Or Blackfire, even.
Nah, he's a man of his word.
You know what? Thank you for pointing that out.
Also, he will probably give her like a glorious dragon Nippon steel.
Yeah,
Maybe
give
take
her his
her-
katana.
Wait,
Maybe
no.
take
No,
her
I've got
with
it.
her,
I've got it.
and then
At some point off screen, John has also found Dark's sister, and he gives that
Oh,
to
no.
Arya.
Because she's
Zero?
the Dark Sister.
Zero,
What is it?
your description of Gambison insults me deeply.
Yeah, I know. It's just like
Never say it's made of leather again, please.
it's probably made of cloth.
he
It's
said
made of
cloth.
wool or linen. It is a padded cloth armor made of separate layers stacked on top of each other. Most of the time worn separately from armor by people that could not afford regular armor. All the time it was worn under the regular armor.
Is it edible?
So
No.
that's really not that big of a mistake. He literally just got the composition wrong.
I mean, he
Which
did
is a
say
big mistake.
cloth.
I mean, linen is cloth.
No, you
And he
literally
did
said
say that
straw.
it was probably cloth. He just said added leather to it. He said cloth or leather. So yeah. It's not as big of a mistake as you're making it out to be.
But is it edible though?
Yeah. Well, anything is edible.
Yes, you just need the right attitude. That's right.
Okay, Myth, I'm going to ship you some rocket fuel. It's edible.
Careful, he might actually become strong.
And that's my superhero origin story.
He'll finally become tall enough to be a proper Hagrid impersonator.
I also don't have enough hair on the top of my head to pass as Hagrid.
Or he'll
That's
at
just-
least exit the Gimli stage of his life.
Yeah. I can't believe people called you Gimli.
It's nice to see that Gimli, son of Glow, and took up coding after helping save Middle-earth. Someone, one of my coworkers posted that in the chat on the Zoom call the other day. It was great.
He sighed. He'd not really thought about presents when he decided to come back. He had other things on his mind at that moment.
What a
But looking at his
horrible.
bleeding sister, who was doing that thing she always did with her eyes that made them look bigger than they actually were. That
She
thing
has
she
anime
always
eyes.
did with her eyes that made them look bigger than they actually were.
She
Just,
has anime eyes?
Yes, she does. Indeed, she does.
Have you ever seen an image of someone making those look real?
No.
It's so freaking creepy.
Oh yeah. Who was sorry? I got a little lost there. Who was quite clearly making her okay. We were still going with the look. Who was quite clearly making her bottom lip tremble on purpose. He decided he would have to find a way to get a proper sword in her hand.
Oh no. Oh no.
Why?
Well, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna avoid this.
Yeah.
Pretend it's not there. He was annoyed that her little tricks, that he was fully aware of, had worked so easily on him. No, it's not your present, he said as crossed his arms. There's no he even. Oh, she said as her face fell. She looked down at the floor and started nibbling on her bottom lip.
Oh God.
Her shoulders slumped and she sniffed. Oh, he had an upset little sister on his hands, and his soul couldn't take it. With his decision made, he lifted the bag up and sighed. If you're good and you promise not to tell anybody about what I'm about to show you, I will ask Myken to make you a sword that is just right for you, I know there's no point in me trying to hide the contents of this bag from you. You'd find a way of getting into it, and probably cause more trouble for me, he said as he sat on his bed and placed the bag down on his lap.
Can we just say that Jon is whipped?
Yeah, he is. Unless he's talking with other guys, then he just shits on them.
Yeah. He is whipped by his little sister.
That's right.
Oh God.
Did I just get added? Let's see here. Arya. What the? Get it on my face. How do I minimize this? Okay. Thank God. Holy crap! That was frightening.
No! Ah!
Right, for those who didn't see that, let me just open the link here and just copy this.
You're welcome.
Ah.
That.
I thought you deserved to see it.
Make sure. Look at those big eyes. She's not biting her lower lip though. Don't. This is a lie. This image is a total fabrication.
I can edit the image.
Yeah, you can.
I can add tears, the biting lower lip, everything.
But you know what? Don't do it.
Why not?
Because I don't think I'll like it.
I think I have to.
Other than if you must. But Jon got nothing from this deal except for making his sister happy, which, in hindsight, was definitely worth it.
Simp.
Is this one exactly?
Jon is the first simp.
Jon Snow, the Peter.
Cersei's the first Karen. Jon is the first simp.
No,
Yeah.
Ned is a simp for Jon, like since he was a child.
You know what? I can accept that.
That
Face-
Ned is where Jon learned his simp ways.
Oh, this is perfect.
You sure? I thought he learned things from books.
Ned must have kept a diary.
Oh,
Ned kept a diary devoted to his simping for Jon, and Jon read it, and now he knows how to be a simp for Arya.
yes. So terrible. Her face lit up, and she sprang towards the bed before hugging him tight around the neck. Thank you, thank you, thank you, she happily declared whilst crushing his windpipe. He tapped on her back, and she let go, a sheepish grin on her face. Oh, she knew what she'd done. She'd well and truly played him, and he couldn't for the life of him be mad at her for it. He was almost proud in some twisted way. Right, I'm serious. What I'm about to show you cannot, I repeat, cannot be mentioned to anyone about. Nobody, not even Bran and Rickon. Dude, what is this sentence? Oh, okay. I know what the mistake was. He wrote in his initial sentence. He said cannot be talked about, and then he changed it to mention to anyone, and then he didn't remove the about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is because I edit a lot, and I see these mistakes as some things that I would possibly make if I was stupid.
Zero, you're gonna love this.
Oh.
I'm almost done.
Do you understand? He said as he worked on the straps of the bag. She nodded her head furiously as she stared at the bag in awe. Gee, you didn't even show her anything yet. Why would she be
She's
staring in awe?
already in awe.
Like, you would look at it with curiosity, sure, but awe? No.
I mean, it's gonna be cursed, but you're gonna love it.
He slowly
no.
untied each of the straps as slow as he possibly could. Come on, hurry up, she said as she almost with excitement from where she sat. At least he wrote this right, but not this. With a flourish, he grabbed the two scabbards inside the bag and lifted them out. He maneuvered them back to the floor and placed the two swords on his lap. Arya was just in awe. No, she was already in awe. She can't just be in awe again. As she stared at the hilts and pommels of each of the swords, she reached out a hand to touch them, but he grabbed her wrist before she could. You have to be careful touching these. They are extremely precious, and not to mention extremely sharp, he said as he let go of her wrist and slowly unsheathed black fire on his lap. Her eyes lit up even more when she saw the swirling patterns that adorned the blade. Like fathers, she muttered out as she stuck a single finger out and touched the steel. Aye, like fathers, he said, successfully keeping out the anger from his tone at the mention of that man. Except,
If he was successful, he shouldn't have italicized fathers.
I like how you read my mind with that. Dylan, what the heck is that?
Oh dear.
Doesn't even. That looks terrible, which makes it even more frightening.
I know. That was on purpose.
I don't think I'm gonna show that on stream.
You have to, though.
It's
They
too
won't know what
awful.
we're talking about.
That is frightening.
I'll have nightmares from this. I
Mission
might as well show it
accomplished.
to people. Right, you see that, everyone? This is you can thank Dylan for this. Let me just zoom in for you here. You can thank Dylan for this.
The tear looks great, doesn't it?
The tear looks like an anime tear,
That was on purpose.
and the lip here, like what the. Ugh. All right, we're not enough of that. Just
I should have added wolf ears.
you know what? No,
Yes.
is the other one the same? She asked. Wait, no, I skipped this. She slowly rubbed her finger down the steel. What?
At least it didn't say down the sword.
Yeah. Is the other
Oh,
one the
no.
same? She asked. He grabbed the hilt and stood up, seemingly shocking Arya out of her daze. The rest of the scabbard was pulled from the blade and placed on the furs of his bed next to Arya, along with Blackfire itself. She was that preoccupied with staring at the old Targaryen heirloom on his bed to notice him unsheathing Bright Roar as well. Wow!
But you just said that standing up shocked her out of her daze.
That is the point.
Knocked her out of a daze, but she is still in a daze.
Yes, this looks so much better.
Wow, was all she could say as he placed the second blade onto the bed. Her eyes didn't know what to stare at as she looked back and forth between the two blades. He smirked when thinking about what her reaction would be with what he was about to ask. Would you like to hold them? He asked as her head and eyes snapped towards him and her mouth just fell open. Oh.
Oh no.
Why is this so wrong?
Because it is wrong.
Would you like to hold them?
To
Can I?
relieve that cringe, I have sent you something even cringier.
No way. Oh, no, that's... I don't like that one. I don't want to look at it. Would you like
don't...
to hold them? Can I? She asked excitedly, almost whispered in fact.
As her ears perked up.
As her ears perked up. The look on her face was the look of somebody who had just been offered the world. He nodded as he smiled. See if you can pick one of them up on your own first. If not, then I'll have to help you, he said. Didn't she just nearly knock the door off its hinges?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're clear on that. He said as she gripped both hands around Blackfire and attempted to lift it. Yeah, I'm sure she gripped them around Blackfire. He managed to lift it somewhat, but he didn't trust her arms that were already starting to wobble, so he gripped over each of her hands with his and helped her lift it all the way so it was pointing towards the ceiling. Wow, it's beautiful, she said as she attempted to swing the sword left and right with her hands from underneath his grip. He rolled his eyes and smiled as he humored her and helped her swing the blade left and right very carefully. Yeah, we know she's swinging it left and right.
This entire encounter sounds horrible.
No.
Yes.
If any accidents occurred and Arya got hurt, he'd never forgive himself. Well, maybe you shouldn't have shown her the Valyrian steel swords. After they'd finished wielding Blackfire together,
Oh no.
which was a mad thought in and of itself, he sheathed both of the swords and placed them back in their bag. He turned around and noticed Arya had her hands on her hips and a quirked eyebrow. And where did you get two Valyrian swords from, Jon? She asked. He had to chuckle. It felt like she was trying to tell him off. Not just any Valyrian swords, Arya. Those are the ancestral swords of House Targaryen and House Lannister. Blackfire and Bright Roar. He announced as Arya's hands fell from her hips and her eyes went even wider than before.
She.
I know she's obsessed with Targaryen history. And
Yeah, she would
can't
recognize
Blackfire.
Blackfire at least.
She would recognize Bright Roar. It's supposed to have the name on it.
Wait, Bright Roar has Bright Roar engraved in it?
I think so. I think George said that in one of the interviews.
Yeah, but can you really trust those?
I mean, for George, I'd say yes.
Why George?
Because the other competition I'm thinking about is J.K. Rowling.
Oh, why not her?
Because the stuff that she says in interviews breaks her own canon.
You want a
Look, man.
list?
You're just mad that you can't poop on the ground and then wave your wand to vanish it.
Did she say on the ground, or did she just say squat and poop?
I don't know. They said relieve themselves where they stood, I believe the term was.
Oh, then they don't even take off their clothes. They just do it where they stand.
Oh yeah, like you don't want to shit your pants and then vanish it.
No.
Not particularly.
And that's the. If they were going to do that anyway, might as well just put vanishing charms on the clothes. Enchantments.
Possible. Let's see. Here. How? She exclaimed, a look of disbelief on her face. He just walked up to her and placed his arm across her shoulders. That's a story for another time. Oh shit, channeling his inner Dumbledore.
What the? That shouldn't be. That should be how the hell did you survive Valyria? Because Bright Roar is supposed to be in Valyria.
Yeah.
Look, man, that's a story for another time, all right? Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we go and break our fast. I could eat a small horse, he said as he led them out of his room. And then after, we'll have to have a little trip to see Mycon, he finished. All her heard was a yes as his little sister darted down the hallway.
What?
He shook his head and smiled as he closed his door behind him.
I have problems with that first 5 words.
This?
All her heard was a yes.
Do you guys not know how to count to 5?
All her heard was a...
Yes. Yes, that's what I have problems with.
Well,
What's
yeah.
the problem?
Then again, if we nitpick every little thing.
Yeah, but like, what is the problem?
All her heard?
Well, yeah, obviously, it's supposed to all he heard.
Even if it was supposed to be about Arya, it should be all she heard.
No, all he heard. So I know the mistake. I made fun of it as I was reading it.
That's why we were confused about you pointing it out again, because he made fun of it as he was reading.
Anywho, he started following her, but noticed that she'd stopped at the door to the outside. If I get to the Great Hall first, you have to spar with me later, she shouted towards him, leaving him high and dry as she bolted out of the door. Lady, if you fight this dude, he's gonna crap on you harder than Master M crapped on him. He just smiled as he sped up his walk. He'd missed this. It's gonna be good.
Catelyn.
The first word in her POV. Cuntlin. Wait, what was the special name I gave her? I think it's in Shiro server. Let's see here. It's in the pinned comments in the Myth Fiction room. List of nicknames. Lady Cuntlin the Thunder. Okay, never mind. It wasn't anything special. Cuntlin. No. This wasn't happening. She refused to believe that this was happening. Her family had just gotten over the loss. They were moving on with their lives, moving on from the ordeal that boy had bestowed upon them. She just couldn't understand the sheer audacity of him to just turn up out of the blue and disrupt her family to the core. He'd made his intentions clear that he was leaving to live his own life, to discover himself. He'd said so in his letter to her husband. So she couldn't, for the life of her, he likes to use this particular
Yeah.
phrase, to understand why he decided to turn up again like nothing had happened. She huffed as she made her way to Ned's solar. He'd rebuffed any sort of conversation about the bastard yesterday, but she wouldn't be denied the right today. She didn't even bother knocking as she got to the door. Jory, captain of the household guard, looked like he wanted to announce her, but she wasn't interested. She'd come here for answers. Ned, the timid little bunny rabbit, Lyanna's beloved brother, looked up from whatever it was he was looking at from behind his desk. Cunt, what's the mean? Yeah, I knew that would catch you off guard. We need to talk. Oh, never a good sign when a woman tells you that.
Oh no.
Never ever a good sign. I wish I had that particular video. Which one is it? I don't have it. Never mind. I was hoping I would have something that says, I've got a bad feeling about this. We need to talk, she said as she closed the door behind her, catching a glimpse of an uncomfortable-looking Jory before it closed. He sighed as she walked towards his desk and took a seat. If this is about she cut him off yet again. Of course this is about the bastard. Cuntlin, he said in a low tone. I've warned you before about referring him like that. Referring to him, buddy. I don't care anymore, Ned. He's not staying here, so I don't see how that is even important right now. What is important is what we are to do with this situation, she said with determination. She was getting a result from this conversation. She had to. She could practically hear him grinding his teeth. What do you mean he's not staying here? He asked. Exactly what I said. He's not staying here. End of conversation. The real conversation is what we could do to help him on his way. It's clear that he's been struggling out there these past few years and has obviously returned behind the safe walls of Winterfell because it's become too much for him, she said. What part of him carrying two obviously well-crafted swords on his back and being completely fine after killing that entire group of murdering rapists is him struggling? Like I understand the
This
guy.
is Caitlin. She only sees what she wants to see.
I know, but like I
He's very
understand.
delusional. As delusional as the cunty fish.
Yeah, I have to say, I speak in Ned's voice in French. That's right, French accent. Okay, apparently, yeah, she's crazy. Ned, the timid little bunny rabbit.
Ryle, why are you speaking using the chat?
I think he probably noise in his background. It's no biggie. Looked at her like she'd grown a second head. What? He said. Just shook her head. Don't be silly, Ned. Even you must see how obvious it is he's made a huge miscalculation of his own worth and has reluctantly turned back to you for help. We owe it to him to at least help him find his feet, she said. It was Ned's turn to shake his head as he looked at her oddly. We owe it to him? You don't owe him anything. You've made that quite clear in the past. What was the change of heart? He asked. She looked down at her skirts and brushed her hands across them. Answer me this, my lord. Would you consider me a religious woman? She asked. Oh, he really looked confused. I'm not sure what this hat. Just answer the question, please, she interrupted. Oh, wait, no, I fucked up the accent. Honestly, my nose is stuffed right now. I don't know if you could tell. But, actually, it would make my French accent even worse. Let's see. He sighed. I suppose I could consider you a religious person, yes, but I still don't see how this has anything to do with the current topic of conversation we are having, he replied. I like how this conversation is like just wasting time.
Yeah.
It was her turn to sigh as she looked up at him. I pray to the seven on a daily basis, my lord. I pray for many reasons, for the safety of you and our children mostly, and the gods have answered my prayers on many occasions. So I deemed it necessary, in the name of the seven, to forgive a motherless child. Forgive him for his sins and to lead him onto a path of redemption, she answered.
From the
This is
cunt's
so
own
weird.
mouth, you have to find redemption for being a bastard.
Yep.
Ned, the timid little bunny rabbit, scoffed and shook his head. I knew it was too good to be true. You just can't help yourself, can you? He said annoyingly. She shook her head and pleaded with him. You wound me, Ned. I'm trying to be the bigger person in this situation. This is not something people say. I'm trying to help the boy, not hurt him. Why can't you see that? She pleaded with him. He just looked at her. Okay, I'll bite. How do we help John out, Not that he seems to need the help, but still, he asked as he folded his arms. This was it. She just needed to sell it right. We give him something to be proud of, a duty that he could take pride in. We can't give him a purpose. He made that clear when he left Winterfell all those years ago. No, we have to point him in the right direction. Give him the ability to make something of himself, the ability to be his own man. He'll love you even more for coming up with this idea for him. Trust me, she said. She almost convinced herself of her own plan. Almost. Well, I'm intrigued to see what kind of plans he's got.
Probably
It's
send him
probably
to
going to
the
be.
wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But maybe she would be like, send him to Essos to be a sellsword or something. She didn't care if the bastard found the light or made use of his life for once. She just wanted him gone, never to return. Her husband was skeptical before, but now, leaning back in his chair and stroking his stubble. Oh, he doesn't have a beard. That's why he's completely shit. That's why Jon is more powerful than he could ever be. He
He could
looked
ever
almost
hope to be.
convinced. Yeah, you're right. My brain farted. All right. It is. Oh wait, no, it's him talking. It is an interesting idea, I suppose. Give him the tools to achieve what he wanted to achieve when he decided to leave home. That way, he'll realize that I have been listening to him and I do respect his wishes and choices. He said to himself. He didn't know what he was really talking about, but at this point, she didn't really care. She just wanted his blessing. It might also keep him busy for the foreseeable future. Keep him distracted. He finished. He looked like he was in his own world as he stared off into nothingness. She managed to smile and nodded at him. I think he'll really appreciate what you're trying to do for him. Instead of giving him a life, you're letting him earn it himself. That, like he wanted to do in the first place. He'll respect you for giving him that, she said. She could feel the tide turning. He was actually going along with it. He started nodding to himself. Okay. She blinked. He agreed with her? Was it really going to be this easy to get rid of that boy? She nodded herself and smiled. It's the right thing to do, Ned. For all of us, you'll see, she said. I hope so, he replied. He clapped his hand, making her jump. Right. Since it was your idea, have you got any suggestions on how we proceed? He asked. He seemed determined, which was good for her since the next word to come out of her mouth would be the final step to her plan. I've had one idea, but I'm not sure how you'll receive it. You might not like it, but it will be for the best for Jon. It will be the best for Jon, and ultimately, that's what all this is for, remember? She said. He took a deep breath. Okay, hit me with it, he said, preparing himself for her next words. Come on.
I mean, it had to be that.
Let him join the Night's
Show
Watch with his
some
Uncle Benjamin.
creativity.
Like, you could have sent her to Squire for some dude in the South.
No, she would consider that too good for Jon, even in canon.
Could have sent him to fucking Essos to be a merchant.
He still could usurp his siblings then.
Yeah.
He has
That's
to
what made
spend
him
all.
Jon.
Send him to be a maester.
Send him to the slave fighting pits in Essos.
Yeah, sure, that works. Anyway. Mentioning his brother in an attempt to ease the impact of her sense. It didn't work. His eyes glowed and his head dropped. She was losing momentum. The Night's Watch is it? Wait, no, who's talking here?
This is her talking.
Those are talking. You're right.
She's trying to convince him.
The Night's Watch is an esteemed order, a place where any nobody can become somebody. Lady Stark, any nobody can become somebody. Alright, something Jon has clearly been trying to achieve. Plus his uncle is there as well. It's not like it's going to be some lonely life living up there. He can still visit Winterfell whenever he's allowed. I'm sure the children will appreciate those visits, she pleaded.
Doesn't the Night's Watch have to be a voluntary?
Unless you're a criminal.
Even then, it's voluntary. You can choose the punishment.
Yeah, that is true.
All Night's Watch joined the watch voluntarily.
Except for Samwell Tarly, because he's a coward.
Still voluntarily, he could have chose to die or ran away to somewhere else.
That's why
I mean,
that's
not a choice, Dylan. I mean,
that is a choice.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's definitely not a choice. Either go join the Night's Watch or die. That
it is not a choice. If you have two options, it makes it a choice. No matter
it's an ultimatum.
No, it's still a choice. If you have two options, it is a choice. Even if you're being
ultimatum. Okay. A final demand or statement of terms, the rejection of which will result in retaliation or a breakdown of relations.
And look up choice.
Like, technically, yes, it is a choice, but it's not a choice anyone is going to want to make.
The act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities.
There we go. There were two possibilities.
No.
An ultimatum is a type of choice, technically.
It's still a choice.
Dylan,
you're getting hung up on semantics.
Don't be pedantic, buddy.
It's still a choice.
At the end of the day, an ultimatum is one where you are basically forced to choose one option. I don't care if it's a choice. It doesn't matter. You're choosing one path.
Yes, but he still chose to join the Night's Watch, and he recited his oaths voluntarily.
All right, whatever. I'm going to keep going. It's starting to get on my nerves. We did this here. Okay, get out, he said, almost growling at her. She shook her head. What? She said. He looked at her with such disgust that she had to straighten her spine as to not cower under his gaze. I said, get out, he said. She raised her chin at him. She was so close to getting her way that she wouldn't be giving up that easily. And why would I do that? We were finally getting somewhere. He stood up from his chair and pointed at the door. I said, get out! He shouted.
Oh no, he's awakened again.
He's the awakened rabbit.
Only in presence of Catelyn.
Yes.
He can only show.
Catelyn awakens anyone.
All right. She wasn't gonna get anywhere with him like this, being like this. She'd made good progress today, but had obviously gotten too greedy in her attempts at finalize her plan. Finalizing. I like how she's assuming that this was just gonna get better, considering it never gets better whenever she tries to bring Jon into anything. It had taken a hit, but it would recover, and when he'd calm down, she'd be having this chat with him again. She cut her losses as she stood up and curtsied. "As you wish, my lord," she managed to get out. Jory, captain of the household guard, gave her a worried look when she exited the room. She barely gave him a second glance as she made her way down the hall. The sound of glass shattering coming from her husband's solar was the last thing she heard as she made her way to break her fast with her children. Let's hope the bastard is still in bed. Oh hey, Elia. Time for the royal family.
Is this
Who's ready?
is this the fic where they brought up what Lyanna could do with her tongue?
Yes.
The afternoon sun beamed down on her and her little friend as they sat on a bench in the royal gardens. Her little friend? She always felt at peace whenever she was sat. Come on, man. In the warmth of it. Made sense with her being a Martell and all. It would seem her guest enjoyed the sunshine as well. Sir Oswell and Sir Barristan were on duty.
Duty.
Duty. Currently protecting the queen and her little princess. Bab! What?
What?
Oh, okay. She's a child. Okay.
Okay.
She smiled as she looked down at her lap where she held her granddaughter. Little Alysanne had a small white sundress on with a little matching hat, and she was currently pointing at all the different flowers on display in front of them. What's that, sweetie? She asked her precious.
Precious.
Dylan, do the impression. Come on.
I've never done that impression.
Channel your inner golem for me.
My precious.
Hell yeah, there we go.
I'm not good at impressions.
I liked it. It's good. Alysanne looked up at her whilst still pointing towards the flower bed. Bab, she said. Elias smiled at her. Intriguing. She was an intriguing little girl, even at such a young age. She was also gonna be trouble when she was a little older. She was still young, but already had a vocabulary of 2 entire words. One being Bab, which she said whenever she pointed at anything, and the other being no, which was slowly becoming a problem for her mother.
I mean, I don't think bab is considered a word if it's used for literally everything.
Yeah, for a second I thought it was some kind of flower named Bab with something else afterwards or whatever.
I thought maybe it was some kind of replacement for grandma, because that does happen occasionally.
That's pretty bad.
So
now we will say Bab for random things in the server. It'll be like, "Hey Zero, how are you?" And I'll be like, "Bab."
Bab, which can mean literally anything.
I mean, yeah, it's like Cree.
Yes.
Fuck Cree.
Cree.
Does that mean you want me to go here, or do you want me to head out to attack the enemy?
Cree.
All right. See ya. Okay. Okay, we did this. She had to laugh when she offered to look after Alysanne for a few hours. Poor Marjorie looked like she'd been offered the world when she'd been asked. It's not that Alicent was a difficult child. It's the fact that Marjorie was new to the whole motherhood aspect of being a wife. It was clearly in need of a little break. A break Elia was all too happy to give her, especially if it meant spending time with her favorite little person in the whole wide world. An adult talking like this.
I mean, if they're talking to a child, yes, but
Thinking to herself.
like thinking to yourself, no.
Had nothing to do with wanting to hold a little baby girl in her arms again. She was broken from her sad thoughts as Alicent gripped her forearm and pointed at Sir Barristan, who was currently walking towards her with a smile on his old, friendly face. Bab! Alicent chirped as she pointed at Sir Barristan. Veteran Kingsguard. I suppose that's a nice way of referring to the old man. He's a veteran.
I mean,
But
with
not
the
as
likes with the likes of Oswell Wint, Gerald Hightower, and Arthur Dane still in the King's Guard, is he?
I suppose
He's
compared to the
definitely
new
more
guys.
veteran than Arthur.
I guess.
Yeah, I
Arthur,
suppose. Yeah, he has
Quiet
been
Shadow.
in longer than
He's-
Arthur.
Hasn't he been in the Kingsguard for like 40 years?
Sir Arthur Dane, the Quiet Shadow. I actually don't know how long Barristan has been in the King's Guard.
I mean,
A
Actually-
long time.
I think it's longer than 40 years.
Eris's entire life, right?
No, I think it was from 16, I think.
Possible.
I have to look it up. My Song of Ice and Fire knowledge is not as deep as my Star Wars knowledge.
Yeah, you look that up, I'll keep reading. My queen, princess, he said as he knelled in front of him. Like I know the word knell is an actual word, but this is not the correct place to use that word. It's knelt.
Like he served under King Jaehaerys II, Aerys II, and Robert.
Yep.
So he served under 3 kings.
That's why I said Eris's entire life, which means
Yeah.
he
He
served.
He joined
the men
at
for-
23,
Hell yeah.
and he was
Somewhere in the 70s.
Yeah, he was about 70, and he's still not dead in the books. So he's been serving for 47 years.
No. Or
No?
maybe. Yeah, you're
47.
probably right.
I think that makes him the longest serving Kingsguard
47 years.
that's alive.
We don't know how long Oswell Wint and Gerald Hightower served, though.
Yeah,
They weren't
they're
as
not
old as
important.
Barristan.
Do we know that, though?
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure we do.
Oswell wasn't that old from context, but I don't know anything about Hightower. Anywho, no, Alicent said before she could even open her mouth. She smiled at him and shrugged her shoulders. Apparently not, Sir Barristan. The princess has spoken. Wait, what? Aish approaches them, greets them, and she says no, and Elia is like, the princess has spoken, apparently not. But he didn't say anything. Whatever. She held out a hand and motioned for him to stand. He laughed as he stood back up. It would seem I have been misunderstood all along, he said. She looked down at Alicent, who was currently blowing raspberries with her mouth and fiddling with one of the rings on her finger. The one with the ruby that Rhaegar had gifted to her for one of her past name days. Oh wait, essentially a toddler has been given a ring No, rings plural. And they didn't consider the possibility that a toddler will eat the ring. All right. She looked back up at the knight. What can I do for you, Sir Barristan? She asked, bobbing one of her legs as Alysanne started to become a little restless. She'd been trying to climb down and crawl in the flower bed ever since they'd sat down. He cleared his throat as he looked down at the little princess. Your nephew, Prince Quentin, requests an audience with you, Your Grace. He's just at the entrance to the gardens, he said. Interesting. She nodded. If you would, Sir Barristan, tell my nephew I would be delighted if he'd join me and the little princess here on this fine afternoon, she said as the old sir nodded in affirmation and went to go and get her nephew. I wonder what he wants, she said, mainly to herself. Bab, Alysanne replied. She looked into the distance where Sir Barristan had just rounded a corner out of view. Bab indeed, little one, she replied. Alysanne's answer was just to bounce up and down where she sat. She huffed as she readjusted her grip on the little rascal. Slow down, sweetie, I'm not a pony, said. Alysanne just looked up at her and gave her a gummy smile, carrying on with pretending her lap was a horse. Your Grace, she heard as she turned her head. Her nephew stood looking at the two of them with a bemused look on his face. She patted the space next to her on the bench. Quentin, please sit, she said as he took a seat next to her. Alysanne had stopped bouncing on her lap, thank the gods, and was currently staring at Quentin like she didn't know what to make of him. Quentin gave Alysanne one of the most forced smiles she'd ever seen and went to shake her little hand. Unfortunately for her nephew, Alysanne had other ideas and snatched her hand away before he could even reach it. No, she exclaimed. Is this like some kind of attempt at subtle foreshadowing? He wants to shake the little baby's hand and the baby doesn't like him, so therefore he must be a bad person?
I think it's a pointless scene.
Probably.
I mean, obviously, yeah, it is a pointless scene, but like by my standard, this scene is a complete waste of time. But I'm trying to wonder what he's doing. Quentin looked up at her like he didn't know what to do. Don't worry about it. I feel like okay. Listen, this is what I think. I feel like Derk has like extended family, and has had interactions with nieces and nephews or something, or he knows someone who does, and they behave like that. And he's like, hey, I should just write about that as a way to set the scene. Except he doesn't realize how absolutely fucking boring it is to read a scene like this. Don't worry about her. She's in one of those moods. Think she might be getting hungry, that's all. She lied. Alysanne had only just recently been fed, just before Marjorie handed her over, but she didn't want Quentin to feel bad. Oh, that's all right, he said. I love babies and all their little charms, he finished as he smiled down at the little girl. She narrowed her eyes. Since when? She asked. She could smell a fish and wasn't best pleased that it was a family member trying to play games with her. Play games? He's just being polite. He wasn't fooling anybody. His smile faltered when he looked at her.
Why are they clarifying Quentin as a villain?
Because
he's friends with Viserys, remember?
Viserys wants the crown.
Oh God.
Yep. Viserys' plan is to wed Daenerys and take the crown. Quentin...
I completely forgot that Viserys still turned out bad in this.
Yeah, he still turned out bad. And Quentin probably wants Dorne.
Yeah. Quentin wants to steal Dorne out from under Arianne.
Arian was the one that had concerns that she was being passed over.
In the original story, yeah.
Why would it change here? What changes that?
So if Quentin was still sent to foster with the family he was in canon, who canonically did want to replace Ariane with him, it is conceivable that he was convinced to attempt. So
It's still inconceivable for me that Viserys turned out so bad.
oh yeah, the Viserys part is not excusable, but Quentin could be. I can see how it could work with Quentin.
Look, Viserys was mean in the original story, therefore he must be mean in this.
He was only mean after years and years of fending on the streets, trying to protect his sister and being chased by assassins.
Doesn't matter.
He was born bad. Remember that.
What?
He was born bad.
No. He was
has
a
to have been
kid
born
according
bad.
to everything we know.
I like how Dylan doesn't understand that we're basically speaking.
I understand. I understand.
He made a choice to be evil, like since he was a kid.
Yeah, he's born evil.
I'm just imagining
Just like
him.
Voldemort.
No. I'm just imagining him at 5 going, I'm going to be evil.
No, he did that at age 0, like when he was first
He did
suckling
that
on his
at
mother's nipples.
No, he said, I'm going to be like my father.
I'm just imagining him feeding and then turning away from the breast, this evil smile across the baby face, and then going, I'm going to be evil.
Exactly. Like he rubs his hands together while he does that too. Yes, I will kill everyone. Wait, I'm hungry. Come here, mother.
Oh no.
Smile faltered when he looked at her. What do you mean? I've always adored babies, he said. She just hummed as she started rocking Alysanne on her lap again. Sir Barristan said you wanted to see me for something, she said as she looked at him. Her nephew seemed to prepare himself before saying whatever it was he was about to say. What was he saying?
Small nitpick, but how old is Alicent again?
Don't know.
She's older than Rhaenys, so we know that.
Old enough to speak, so probably over a year old. That's out of the baby stage.
Oh wait, Alysanne is who you're asking. I heard Ariel.
Alysanne. No. Alysanne.
I have no idea.
Alysanne is a toddler. If you ask me how old is she, I will say, don't know.
I mean, she's old enough to walk and sort of speak. So she's definitely out of the baby stage.
Bab.
That's speaking. That is an entirely new language now.
No.
You know what they're saying based on the inflection they put into the word.
Bab.
Obviously.
Bab.
All right.
It's like the Uchiha.
Oh, no.
Yes.
There are 500 different ways of glaring at people. This one means I disapprove. But if I raise my eyebrow just very slightly by an angle of 5 degrees, that means I want to kill you.
To be fair, with the Sharingan, they could do that. It's in such perfect clarity that they could speak using expressions like that.
Yes. The literal eyes of Edge.
Yes.
I remember reading the chapter when the second Hokage was explaining it, and he's literally like, they're the eyes of misery. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I'm just remembering the fan fictions where Sasuke says, and Naruto has a full conversation with him using that.
Oh, God.
It's ridiculous.
Her nephew seemed to prepare himself before saying whatever it was he was about to say. He cleared his throat and looked her dead in the eyes. I was hoping you could help me, he said before he looked down at his lap. Now she was really suspicious. Quentin had never asked her for help involving anything. It was always her two brothers or even his sister that were asked before her. She humored him by nodding. She was a little bit intrigued as to what he wanted help with in the first place. Go on, she said as Alisanne finally calmed down on her lap. Sat up and looked at her. I came to the capital with Prince Viserys, not only to see you and my cousins, but to give you a warning, he said ominously.
Dum dum dum.
He looked at him in confusion. Now she was really lost. Her hold on Alisanne became more secure as she checked to see where her two Kingsguard were in her peripheral vision. Quentin won't hurt us. He's not that stupid. And Doran would disown him in a second. A warning. And what, pray tell, is this warning, dear nephew? Question mark. She said a little shortly. He sighed. It's father. He's beyond upset. He's angry, and he's losing his patience, Quentin said. He scoffed. I find that hard to believe. Your father is one of the tamest men I've ever known. Are you sure you've not gotten him mixed up with your Uncle Oberyn? She asked. He looked a little annoyed by her reply. No, I haven't. Uncle Oberyn isn't one getting it in the neck by the residents of Sunspear, my father is, he said. Getting it in the neck? I don't know what that means. Getting it in the neck. He's severely punished or criticized. Oh. His father is getting severely criticized? I don't
This
know,
guy's
let's
the
keep going.
Lord of Dawn.
Yeah, like he's the dude that decides all the laws in the damn region. The only person he answers to is the king. He arched an eyebrow at him. I fail to see how this has anything to do with me and this so-called warning. Your father is a capable man. Any problems or gripes his people have will be resolved in time, she replied. He shook his head and got closer to her as he lowered his voice. Arianne has been complaining to him as well. It's about Prince Viserys, he said in a non-spiritual tone. What?
What?
Non-spiritual? was he explaining the concept of Zen to her before? Like,
Yeah.
yes,
like,
this is how you reach your chakras. First, you must face your fears. And now, wait, no. I gotta talk to you about something else. Adopts the non-spiritual tone, and then starts talking about this.
He is a monk. He went to train in the mountains.
Ah, yes.
The
Monk
mountains of the
Quentin.
Vale, which contain untold wonders.
My name is Quentin, and I've been on this mountain for the past 20 years in a spiritual journey of sorts. Stupid ass story. Why am I reading this? Oh, wait, what did I just do?
Did you just go on?
Yep, I pressed control.
Good job.
Wait, okay. Something about, okay, we're here. Close enough. Okay, we're at the warning. Alright, here. Oh, wait, no, here. I was drinking water. She rolled her eyes. Of course it had something to do with that man-child. She felt so sorry for her niece, having to put up with that for the rest of her days. Her and Rhaegar had a little falling out when that betrothal was announced. And what has he done now? She asked, her nephew looking a little uncomfortable. He's out of control. What's up?
Is Daenerys marrying Quentin?
Well,
Wait,
Quentin
Rael is
wants her.
stopping any betrothals coming Daenerys' way, so
Which niece?
Hey, what is it? What is it?
Arianne is Elia's niece.
Oh, why are we talking about nieces? You were just talking about Daenerys.
Like, Dylan is confused, thinking that Elia is talking about Quentin here. She's feeling sorry for Arianne having to marry Viserys, is what she is.
Oh, my bad. I turned away for a few months to do something.
Oh,
So confused
Yeah.
for a second.
she felt sorry for Arianne having to put up with Viserys. Anyway,
Why? Arion would have him wrapped around her little finger in seconds.
I mean-
in this one she doesn't. In this one, she's a weak woman.
Like, if she was written correctly, yes.
He's
But
out
we
of
all
control.
know that the only one he can write correctly is Ramsay.
Yep.
Honestly,
And then he killed him anyway.
the Ramsey was great. How did he get that great but not get anything else right?
I want to check his personal life. Wait, no, don't do that. You don't want to know. He's out of control. He's been harassing anybody and everybody in Sunspear without a single ounce of remorse. He walks around like he owns the place, even though my sister is technically the one in charge, whilst father is at the water gardens. I mean, he's her husband.
He is the
kinda
consort.
owns the place.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
want blood.
He's the consort. He doesn't have power over Dorne.
Like, he is both the consort and he's part of the actual royal family of Westeros. He has plenty of power in Dorne.
He has the power that Galadriel's husband has in Lord of the Rings.
I forgot what kind of power he has.
The power to say a few lines and then be forgotten.
Fitting, because I don't remember him. Anyway,
He's the one that speaks when the Fellowship actually meet Galadriel.
Where is Gandalf? For I much desire to speak with him.
uh,
And then everyone.
very, very tepid performance. That people want blood, but my father has to protect him from them. If anything were to happen to Viserys, it could kickstart a war. Kickstart?
Are you really surprised?
Kickstart etymology. I want to know
You know-
exactly when this word became.
It would be better to
1919.
ignite there.
What is it?
It could ignite a war. Would be better.
Yeah.
Kickstart. Method of it starting a internal combustion engine by pushing down a lever with the foot. Oh.
I mean, technically, Kickstart can work in that context, but it doesn't sound as good.
It's applied to motorcycles. And used in common parlance because it's applied to motorcycles. There are no motorcycles in Westeros, as far as I can tell.
Of course there are. John
I
has
mean,
one.
that's how Lord Varys gets around so fast, didn't you know?
That's what the fast travel was. They all got motorcycles.
Now I'm imagining the cast just like cruising down the King's Road on motorcycles.
Oh, God.
Just like an information.
They're jousting on the backs of motorcycles.
Yeah, sure, that too. Like
Which
that.
reminds me of Scooby-Doo.
It's an odd thing
Bro,
to
Raggy.
be reminded of, but okay.
Not really. Remember, Fred jousted with the knight on a motorcycle.
And I do not remember most of Scooby-Doo. All I remember was they always had some stupid way of figuring out that it was a fake monster all along.
No, there was real monsters a few times.
You're a monster.
Yeah, mostly in like the movies that they made, the straight to VHS movies that they made.
I know. And yes, Zero, you have said I'm a monster before. But let's not get into philosophy.
A little monster, little baby monster. Anyway, Father wants to avoid war between Dorne and the Crown, which can be kickstarted by Viserys being a douchebag in Sunspear.
Douchebag?
Douche nozzle.
Wait, what?
Viserys is a douche nozzle.
Right.
Anyway, her brow scrunched in confusion. The spider. Lord Varys wasn't the only person in the capital with their own personal line.
I thought that was actually in the story.
No, it was Zero adding his own flavor to it.
I was like, what? Oh.
See, I can write like Derk if I want to.
Don't do it. No, actually, I want you to try to write a story like this.
I should write the next update of In Pursuit of Magic in this way.
Please don't.
Yeah, do it for April Fools or something.
Yeah, like here's a new update, guys. April Fools.
I would.
No, that would be really mean.
Funny though.
Like start a new story if you do that.
No, do it for In Pursuit of Magic. It'd be hilarious.
No. I'll do it on a new story.
No, Lightning Dragon's Roar, the first update in years.
Oh
I
no!
I did that as a. I did an update, but it was just mostly to tell people that I have a website.
Oh, I remember.
How many people were pissed
angry.
off about that?
Dude, you have no idea. Like I would just get DM, fuck you douchebag. I've been waiting for years for this. Like, I'm sorry.
To be fair, you deserved those reviews.
Look, man. Someone told me I should tell people that the story wasn't done yet because everybody's assuming it's abandoned. Which, I mean, I could keep writing it, but I want to finish. I want to finish a single story first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You haven't finished this, huh?
Look, the one shots don't count because they're one shots.
What about stories you started when you were a bad writer?
Those were abandoned.
None of them were finished?
I mean, I didn't know what to do with them. That's the reason why Hit the Ground Running. I'm never gonna complete that. As soon as I realized what kind of corner I wrote myself in, I just stopped.
That's the can't pronounce that.
The worm Naruto, the Sasuke and worm.
I enjoyed that one for as little as it had.
It was gonna be a stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to write him and Worm, probably at the very start of Shippuden would be good.
Mid
Shippuden?
Yeah.
Right after he kills Itachi.
Ish. I would say the 5 Kage Summit.
Yeah, he'd be about S class. Not. Is that the classification they use in Worm?
No, they use they got
levels.
Yeah, levels from 0 to 10 or something.
He'd probably be around the 7, 8, 9 range.
Yeah, for different categories. Like he's a 10. He's a master 10, obviously, because he can just hypnotize anyone to do whatever he wants by just looking at them.
Actually, they wouldn't have chakra. Would he be able to use genjutsu on them?
Yes. Yes, he would.
I thought it was affecting the chakra stream.
Kinda. It's assumed that everything that exists has chakra, even though they don't use it actively. If that makes sense.
And the shard might actually protect them from that.
Possible.
Yeah, it could be interesting if you rewrote it with him at that time point.
Well, I wrote it with him being able to absorb nature energy because of his Rinnegan, which means he can absorb shards.
Yes, that was a bad.
Rather, the energy that powers shards, which means he can essentially negate any damage whatsoever. Which I realize was kind of bad, so I kind of depowered him, and I figured I could do like I don't know how to explain it, like a progression where as he's slowly recovering his power, he's fighting stuff at his own current level of recovery. Or if he's not, he'd be overwhelmed and have to resort to old tricks. But eventually he was gonna be like super god mode and basically destroy everything. But
Your first completely overpowered character.
yeah, that's why I realized when I was making the Z Gamer, I was like, wait, no. Gotta slow down here. Gotta figure this out.
I've worked with a few authors on fan fiction that they had the problem of slowing down. I would give them ideas and it would be like, that should happen, in a few years from now. A power development in a few years in the story. Next chapter.
He has it.
Why is he doing this?
All right. Okay. They want to kill people. They want to kill Viserys and do a war between. Okay. Rhaella had a few of them herself. A few of them she had planted in Sunspear with the sole purpose of keeping an eye on her son while she couldn't. She got monthly reports on Viserys to make sure he wasn't going the way of his father. If Viserys was causing trouble in Sunspear, his mother would know and do something about it. The only things those reports ever said were that he was rude to servants, cold to his wife, and in general, miserable living there. So somebody
got
was
a
trying to pull a
question.
fast one here. What's up?
What has changed that Rhaella survived childbirth?
She
Yeah.
probably had better care. Remember, it was in the middle of the war and they were running away.
Oh, yeah.
She was on Dragonstone when she gave birth.
And there was a big thunderstorm, pretty much a hurricane. The war had just ended. Her son, her husband, and her dynasty was dead. The stress easily could have been the reason she died.
Yeah, a lot of people
Fair.
die from heartbreak.
Fair.
Like Padme.
She was beyond annoyed, but was rather interested in what he actually got out of all this, so played along with him. What does my brother suggest? She asked as Alysanne started to babble. He cleared his throat.
I'm gonna
I just
predict.
realized.
I'm gonna predict. He's gonna ask for Daenerys to be sent to Sunspear and be betrothed to him.
Yeah, but let's see how this logically applies, considering that the guy is already married. Viserys, I mean.
Well, no,
thinks
he's gonna
Viserys-
suggest a union between Quentyn and Daenerys to
I mean,
ease
yeah, but
tensions.
true, but we know that Viserys wants her. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
He cleared his throat. He thinks Viserys is being the way he is because he feels isolated. He misses his family. He said as he attempted to look sad at that notion. If he missed his family, he would have come to see Elia's grandchildren. But he's been doing fuck all in the castle the entire time.
Well, Elia's grandchildren are like they're contaminated by Dornish and Reach blood. They're not pure.
Yes, of course. Viserys is Draco.
Like Viserys is pure. None of the Targaryens are pure by this point.
Wait till my father hears about this.
Oh god, Draco reborn in Viserys. Oh.
I still like Growl's idea. Aerys reborn and Joffrey.
So do I, because
Yeah.
Aerys in his younger years was very competent.
Like he was considered a good king
Dylan, you should write the story.
until
I'm
the
already writing a
defiance at
story at the moment.
Duskendale.
I'm already writing a story. I have actually started.
Nice.
Why didn't
Like
you
it was
tell
the
me about
defiance
this
at
story?
Duskendale that broke Aerys.
But would he
What,
still be
Zero?
broken even if he's reborn?
You sort of mumbled something while Myth was talking. What was it?
I'm not gonna say.
Now you have to say.
Nope.
Come on.
I'll tell you later. Anyway, It took all of her willpower not to burst out laughing. Viserys couldn't give a shit about his family. The only family member he showed an ounce of respect to was his mother, and even that was very little. She decided to play along, though. She would have to send Doran a raven to see what in the world her son was playing at.
That doesn't even fit his canon interpretation.
You think Derk gives a shit about canon?
No, but he's legitimately basing Viserys, or at least trying to, off his canon. And in his canon, he respected his father, respected Rhaegar, and
And it was selling his mother's crown that broke him.
yes.
What broke him here?
Bad writing.
Being exiled to Dorne.
No, I know exactly what broke him. He was in the Library of King's Landing, and he managed to somehow peek into the outside of the universe to see Dirk's script for the story.
That's perfect. That would be a great one shot.
The bastard son of Ned Stark goes west and finds better steel than our homeland. Now I have to go crazy.
Not just that, he finds a dragon.
He finds a dragon. That's right. See, that would be cool. He'd have some kind of knowledge on Jon, and he would be like a big antagonist. But obviously, we're never gonna get that kind of story.
Yeah.
That would have been better for Euron, to be honest.
It would make sense for Euron
Sort of like
to get that kind of knowledge.
Sort of like in A Song of Ice, Fire, and Lightning.
Look, Euron in that story is gonna be pretty important.
He was great already.
I don't care how many people tell me that he's not supposed to be that strong. It doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna make him even worse.
Euron becoming a literal eldritch being, Greyjoy, is not supposed to be that powerful. Okay.
Seriously. His brother's vision had him standing on a mound of the broken and dead gods as he ascended to eldritch godhood.
But yeah, we'll go with he's not supposed to be that powerful.
In any story where he ends up getting magic, he should be insane. Not insane mentally, he's already there.
You know what Euron's character traits are?
Finger in the butt.
Classic.
Classic Euron.
God. It
All right,
didn't even get his looks right.
I'll be honest, that actor, he actually thought he was going to get the book version.
I know.
I feel sorry for the actor.
Hey, so did the actor for Selmy. He thought he was going to get the freaking go on and play badass Selmy watching over Marine and keep going like that.
But no, kill him off.
Oh, he was so disappointed when he read that script.
Kill him off by a nameless character.
He got killed off by lordlings that had never held a weapon.
Yep.
And because he wasn't wearing armor.
Yeah, he just kind of forgot how to fight.
The guy who always wears his armor was not wearing his armor.
Yeah, but he also kind of forgot that armor exists in that world.
Yeah. You can really see the holes poking through early on when you look back.
And why was freaking Grey Worm fighting with a spear in a cramped hallway?
Because the Unsullied only know how to work with fight with spears.
No, they learn spear, short sword, and shield.
Grey Worm kind of forgot his training.
And were those daggers supposed to be the short swords?
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, as I've told you before, he probably kind of forgot how any weapons work.
Honestly, just looking back on it, the early seasons, still looking back on them, and trying to nitpick, you can find so much wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a certain level of mistakes you can forgive in a story, as long as it delivers its main emotional impact slash storyline impact. Well, not
There was
impact,
no
storyline.
emotional impact to Selmy's death.
I know, but like,
Other than outrage.
Not even that. I just thought it was pathetic.
yeah, but I mean, people don't care about what you think. People care about what the people in the Burlington bar think. If you don't know what I'm referring to, you should go on YouTube and type Burlington Bar Game of Thrones reactions, which is what people mostly care about.
To be fair, if I started making reaction videos, they'd be insanely long rants.
For me, I don't see the point in making reaction videos, like, because I would be faking it, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
if I see if I see something I like, I might have a little smile. I'm not gonna like go full blown grin and start running around screaming.
Like,
Same. The only thing I'd get up in arms about would probably be the fight scenes.
If anything, if I see something that truly excites me, I might like raise my hands and like clench my fists as I like try to keep it in. But otherwise,
That you're not supposed to keep it in. Release the happiness. Release
no.
the joy.
Never.
Yeah, like, especially watching by myself, I wouldn't show hardly any reaction. But, like, some friends and I got together several years back and watched, I think it was WrestleMania 30. And just being in the crowd like that is what, like, kind of induced a reaction.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, other people's reactions tend to induce more reactions from others, and it's a loop.
Me and a few friends were playing D&D the other night. We should have recorded that. It was freaking amazing. I freaking wanted to I took over a town with a scarf.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
A town of 4,000 people. And I took it over with a scarf after an hour of arguing with the DM to give me the scarf.
You should change your name to Scarf Man.
And it was a scarf made out of potato skins.
The Scarfed Villain. There we go. That's a name. All right. Fuck. Where are we? Here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She decided to play along though. She would have to send Doran a raven to see what in the world his son was playing at. I suppose it makes sense then that he came to the capital. He just missed us all, she said. His eyes widened as he nodded his head. Exactly. Unfortunately, Father thinks the visit will do very little to change his ways, and that he needs a family member in Sunspear with him. Someone to calm him down, he said. All the bits were fitting into place for her. Another Targaryen in Sunspear. She couldn't possibly guess who her unmarried nephew was about to suggest move there.
You can just feel the sarcasm in Elia's mind.
She decided to play with him some more. Whoa. Calm down, Auntie. Somebody to calm him down, she said as she tapped her chin. Ooh, I know. Oh, shit. The Dowager Queen would be delighted with a little trip to Dorne. In fact, we'll go see her now and you can ask her yourself, she said. Quentin, no, possessive, eyes widened. It was no secret to anybody how fearsome Rhaella had become after going through what she had all her life. The woman was like Valyrian steel now, beautiful but incredibly dangerous. She's fucking weak.
She's not quite as good as Dragonsteel though.
She is not as good as glorious Japanese Nippon steel. Oh, hey, it's Everpeach. Hello.
And
we're still at it.
Glorious Dragon Nippon Steel cannot even. I bet it can't stand up to White Walkers.
Yep. Have Ned and John consummated their relationship yet? No, sir. No.
No, but
they
Jon
haven't
and
even
Arya
interacted
came
in
close.
this chapter. Yeah, Jon and
John
Arya
and
got
Arya
close.
came close. Yeah, they got very,
Yeah,
very
Arya,
close.
Arya was messing
well.
with his swords.
Yeah, he showed her how to handle his swords. He let her swing them, and then helped her with his own. Like he put his hands over hers to swing the sword. If you know what I mean. It was a very,
Yeah.
it's very
There was
interesting
one
moment.
point where she ran her finger down the edge.
That's right. She ran her finger down the blade. You're right.
And he kissed his dragon.
Oh yeah, he kissed he kissed
Yeah,
the dragon on the
kissed
snout.
Kyrena.
Yep. Adding
And
more.
Kyrena appeared in his dreams.
Oh yes.
Adding more validation to my theory.
Alright. No. Father wasn't suggesting Queen Raella. No, he'd come up with a solution to all of this whilst also strengthening Dorne's ties with the crown, he said frantically. So predictable. Look, I understand they're supposed to be the evil guys, but, I mean, listen. Just because you're evil doesn't mean you're stupid.
In this universe, it does mean that.
Look,
It's
man,
so much better when they're evil and competent.
Oren will definitely be getting a raven now. And what suggestion has my brother come up with, dear nephew? Dear nephew, she said as Alexanne sat still on her lap again. A lap that was slowly getting warm. Whoa. What are you trying,
Alisanne's
what are you trying to
wedding.
tell us here, woman? Oh, she pissed herself.
Yeah.
Pick your times, you little madam. I'm just gonna ignore it. He took a deep breath and looked at her. She'd have found it amusing if he wasn't lying to her face, and she wasn't currently being shat on by a baby. Alright, so she's not peeing on her. She's a
She's
little other
pooping.
thing. Oh yes, I can't wait for that part either. It's gonna be amazing. Wait, Dylan
What?
said you had to go at midnight.
Yeah, I'm also in the middle of editing a chapter for someone. I'll be on time done with that.
All right, just making sure you're not ruin your sleep schedule. Anywho, a betrothal between Dorne and the Crown. He suggests a marriage between Princess Daenerys and me. He said,
Finally.
"Of
Look
course
how
he
long
does."
it took to get to this point. I mean, you said
No,
that
like
at
the
the
entire
beginning.
scene. Like I swear to God, the entire scene was just complete garbage.
Yeah.
Hey Dylan, you're being asked a question.
Are you editing for USS?
I am.
Yeah, cool.
It's going well.
Game of
Amazing
Kingdoms.
chapter. So amazing.
Like, is it Game of Kingdoms or a new player?
It's a new player.
Okay.
We're still solving some things in Game of Kingdoms, which, you haven't commented on in the
I
chat.
think you
Yeah,
guys
I've been
changed the
seeing
title.
them. I just haven't had any real input, so.
I don't think it should be a new player anymore. Because he's old now.
He's 13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but he's a man now.
He's a man.
Also,
Not as manly as Jon Snow, alright? Okay, let's get that straight here. But he's a man now. What the fuck is this comment? I really need to get caught up with the story. I've actually, been busy.
yes, Adani X Faye is the real pairing.
Smurf and the Force. Yeah, I like that one. Okay.
I've fallen behind on a lot of my fanfics, to be honest.
How shameful.
Of course he does. She said under her breath as she stood up, desperate to get out of here to change Miss Stinky, who was currently giggling. Quentin stood with her. "Are you all right, Aunt?" he asked. She nodded her head but refused to look at the boy. She was too angry for that. Yes, I'm fine. The little princess here needs changing, that's all. You'll have to excuse me, she said as she started to walk away from him. So was that a yes? He shouted at her as she reached her Barristan. She rolled her eyes and turned around. I'm sorry, she asked. To the betrothal. Father would be beyond pleased for this to be resolved so quickly, he said. She ground her teeth at his shameless attempt at manipulating her. I'll have a word with the king. See what I can do, she said. She had no plans to talk about this to anybody but Dorn. He seemed to relax as a smile crept on his face. Thank you, your grace, he said. She nodded her head and headed off towards the keep. Don't thank me too early, boy. This could very easily turn sour for you. Bad, Alistan said as they walked along. She looked down and smiled. Yes, clever girl. He was bad, wasn't he? She cooed.
So
Alistan
now she's
started
learned a new
laughing.
word.
Yes, now she can say bad. She can
You
also
say
say
bad,
bab.
no, and bab.
Yep.
Oh no, it's Ned.
Bites. Isn't that the one with the dude that gets the snail phone that bites?
I have no idea.
I didn't like the idea of the story.
I literally hated the idea of that story. He got the snail phone and used that to fight. It was just, I hate the idea of something fighting for you.
I mean, I like Pokemon. I just don't like the snail phone.
I don't even know what's being talked about. So
Michelle.
I literally got like 2 chapters in and was like, nope.
Wait, have you ever seen One Piece?
nope.
Oh,
Man, it's pointless to
missing
show you.
out. Missing
I don't know.
out. Very
I don't know
much.
about missing out. The story never fucking ends. But
It's ending
Yeah,
within
I've
5
seen
years.
how long it is, and that's why I haven't watched it.
It's
Yeah,
I'm not
really
going to
damn good.
invest in that.
like
Don't watch it. Read it.
It'll never end.
It ends in 5 years.
I don't read manga.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like pictures when I read. I just
He likes
I just
words.
don't. Same reason I've never actually read a comic book.
Yeah, I find it really hard to read comic books as well.
I actually just finished the Injustice comic book series because we're gonna use that a bit for vigilantes.
He has
Way
the
on-
elephant sword and the dog bazooka. What the fuck is? I'm not even, dude. Screw it.
You could have had me until the dog bazooka. I didn't like. I don't like the idea of using a bazooka in One Piece.
All right, Ned. I'm not gonna speak here in the French accent, just when he talks.
No. You must speak in the French accent.
Do I really have to?
I say yes.
Only
Yeah.
if you want to.
It's
It's not that
much
much.
left. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna only speak in dialogue.
Peach, I know those are canon. I just don't like the dog bazooka, especially if he's using a sword. You do not dual wield a sword and a bazooka.
What's that meme you showed me, Ryle? I'm a talking tree, and you will die a log.
I don't remember.
I remember it because I don't know. It's the pun. It's the pun of it. Just makes me go crazy. The hell? It's talking in my server. Oh, okay. Never mind. No, nothing important. He'd not seen Jon all day. Well, apart from this afternoon when he spotted him. Well, it looks like you saw him today. Don't lie to me. Rickon and Arya sparring in the Godswood. He'd gone there to pray, but
Rickon?
changed his mind when he saw them. Yeah, apparently Rickon
Yeah,
is old
Rickon
enough to
was
be able to play.
sparring.
Rickon.
Yeah,
Oh
Look,
my.
look, man, they got to start him young, all right?
Not that young.
Look, man, Gohan started when he was 4. You don't get to talk here.
Rickon's younger than that.
Hey, you're right. He told himself that he didn't want to disturb them. That was partially true. He'd not seen Arya and Rick smile like that in years. However, as much as he tried to deny it, he just couldn't.
And
He
even
was
then,
avoiding
Rickon
Jon.
is at least 3 years old because that's how long Jon was gone.
and
I
even
mean-
then, you don't spar until you're much older than that.
Isn't
I
he
think
6
he's
right now? Isn't he
He
6
would be
right
si-
now?
Yep, he'd be 6 years old, sir.
John is 17. So
And with them, it's not sparring. They haven't started their training yet. They're just welling at each other with sticks.
Like you said, Raycon like the earbuds. Are those actually good? I just
No.
use earphones, man. They cost like $10. He was avoiding Jon. Oh, we're back to avoiding. Now Ned is the timid little bunny rabbit again.
Yep. He is no
Well,
longer
it's what we-
awakened.
Yep.
it's involving John. Of course he is.
In the hopes of avoiding the talk he was dreading. And he'd managed to avoid it all day. It was
So much
currently the
avoiding.
hour of the wolf. Yes. Much avoid. Such fear. Such timidity? Is that the word?
Timidity.
The black of the night sky cast the whole of Winterfell in darkness. The air was cool, and all that could be heard were his own footsteps. Everybody was in bed. All the children had gone soon after supper, along with Kat, who was still sleeping in a separate room to him. The argument they'd had this morning had done nothing to help fix that. Jon hadn't been at supper, which had shamefully made him thankful. He'd asked Red Roach where he was, and was told that he'd headed out into the Wolfswood for some alone time. Bro, that's not what you head out. That's not what the Wolfswood is for.
Yeah, that's what your bedroom is for.
I mean, I mean, we know he's visiting Kirena, so you know.
Oh. Oh no. Maybe that is what the Wolfswood is for then.
He's certainly showing her his Wolfswood. If you catch my drift. Get it? Because he's the. Never mind. I'm not even gonna explain it because it's so easy to explain.
He's the Dragon Wolf.
He's the Dragon Wolf. He's showing her his.
Showing her
Dragon
his dragon
bone.
wolf.
He's showing his dragon bone, his Wolfswood. God damn it. Okay.
No, he's showing her his dragon sword.
That too.
His dragon steel.
Yeah. It's even better when you say steel rather than sword. Anyway, even when avoiding him, he was still wary about him disappearing again. Arya had seen the worry on his face and affirmed to him that Jon would be back. He wished he had his daughter's confidence right about now. He is so spineless that a child has more confidence than he does.
Oh.
Also, see you later, Everpeach. He cupped his hands and blew his hot breath into them. The night had took
Taken.
a chilly turn as he walked towards his solar. He nodded at the guard who was on watch at the time. Has anyone been to see me? He asked. The guard straightened as he answered. No, my lord. It's been quiet. Think everyone's asleep, my lord. The guard said as Ned nodded and walked towards his solar door. I bet Jon is inside.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
He shouldered the old wooden door to his private solar. Okay, because we need to know that it's private. If he doesn't tell us it's private, then it's not. As he proceeded to unfasten his cloak. Is he gonna just light a candle and Jon is gonna be in the chair?
Jon's gonna pull a Nick Fury.
You're a hard man to find, Ned Stark.
Oh God!
Actually, you could actually do that because isn't Spider-Man's friend called Ned?
Yeah.
So you can edit the word Ned in, and then you could edit the word Stark in, and then have a scene like this.
I'm sure Samuel L. Jackson has said Stark at one point. Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Will he have said the word Ned, though?
Most likely. At least in one movie.
Yeah.
He's been in about 5,000 of them.
Well, the guy has a prolific career. I'll say that much.
Indeed.
Crap, where's my Indeed? No. Where you went?
You've lost your Indeed. You have lost your honor.
Wait, I think I never had an Indeed.
You did, because you
You
sent
never had
you
honor.
sent it to me.
Oh yeah,
You
you're
find
right.
it
Oh,
in
there
my
it is.
downloads.
I found it.
Indeed.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now continue.
All right.
But
I shall do as you say. The room was in total darkness, completely pitch black. Wow. Wait. Like, pitch black is enough to describe this. You don't need to say total darkness. You don't need to say completely pitch black. When you say pitch black, it's...
That's enough.
Yeah. The servants had obviously forgotten to light any candles. He'd have to have a word with Veon about that tomorrow. He fumbled around the room, looking for the hook to hang his cloak on, whilst squinting his eyes in concentration. He managed to find the hook and placed his furs on before working on finding the flint and steel near the fireplace to light the candles himself. He jumped out of his skin as the sound of steel striking flint resonated through the darkness. His eyes jolted towards the direction the noise came from as he saw Jon sat at his desk.
At his desk.
And some daddy moments right here. Striking sparks into a charcloth tin and lighting a candle with it. Looking for this? Jon said as he held the flint and steel in one hand and a candle in the other. He placed the candle in its holder and tossed the flint and steel across the desk, the noise of the impact making him jump.
Ned is so timid.
The guy who has fought in multiple wars, multiple battles, is a coward.
Only when it comes to Jon, though.
But he doesn't know it's Jon. His reaction shouldn't be, well, maybe jump away as he's pulling the dagger out of his belt.
Yep.
But
Immediate assumption should be an assassin.
I mean, it said
Although,
he saw Jon sat at his desk, so he saw it's Jon.
although an assassin that would alert him he's there would be stupid as hell.
Mm.
Which I could not put past some of the people they would hire.
You're not supposed to be here.
Oh no. His heart rate calmed down as he came to grips with the situation he'd found himself in. 7 hells, Jon. 7 hells? Bro, you follow the old gods.
It's a common enough expression that I can forgive that.
I'll forgive it too. You're right. Are you trying? Okay, I need to say this in a redneck accent. 7 hells, Jon. Are you trying to kill me? Is that good?
No.
Good enough.
Okay, fine. French. 7 hells, Jon. Are you trying to kill me? He asked as he grabbed a candle from the holder and worked it around the room, lighting all the candles he could see. Not at all stalling what he deemed inevitable at this point. He returned to the desk and placed the candle back where it came from. Jon was currently sat.
How you liking that, Sir?
Currently sat in his chair and seemed to make an effort in moving from his spot. Make no effort, sorry.
That's a power move.
Is Jon talking or is... Oh, yeah, okay, Ned's talking.
Ned.
What are you doing sneaking around at this ungodly hour? he asked as he moved towards the side cabinet to pour himself some ale. In fact, how did you get in? The guard said nobody had been. He finished, confused. He turned and looked at John, catching the shrug of his shoulders. Not important, he said as he leaned back in his chair and folded his arms. He was already in defense mode. He shook his head and sighed as he leant against the cabinet. I wish you wouldn't do that, he said as he took a sip of his ale. Do what? John replied, closing his eyes and slowly rolling his neck in a circle. My God, the dude's every single movement he makes is a power move. Laying my questions off as not being important, he said. John's eyes opened at that and he stopped with his neck rolling. Compared to the reason why I'm here, it really isn't that important, he replied. I beg to differ. I think you... Go on then, John interrupted. What? His brows scrunched up in confusion. What? Go on then? He asked. Go on, he said as he nodded to the ground. Beg. John asked. What the fuck is going on here? Let me just I'm so confused.
What? Did he just ask the Lord Paramount of the North to beg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Anyone else should get freaking executed for that.
I mean, he also by sitting at his desk in his chair, so...
John is such a Chad.
He's a Chad who should be hanged to a log and whipped repeatedly.
John is the Giga Chad.
He really is. All right.
Remove a hand. Remove his tongue.
Let's hope he doesn't awaken that.
God. Ned's going to have a broken nose by the end of this conversation.
His nostrils
Of
flared in
course.
anger. He could hear the air leave it as he took in his words. I'm not going to do that.
He had
almost
grown a
growled out.
spine.
Yeah, he's
Not much
almost
of
there. He's almost there.
He's almost a man instead of a jellyfish.
John just sat there with a passive face. He looked so uninterested in his response. He was shocked out of his thoughts as John slammed both of his hands on the desk. Right. I think it's time we had that little chat, don't you? He said as he rubbed his hands together. He was enjoying this. He sighed as he sat in the chair opposite him. He was trying to delay, but it seemed that his actions were for naught. How hard is it to run something through a fucking basic spell
Very
check?
hard.
Very hard. Don't you know?
Don't you know? Let's have a chat, he said. John leaned forward in his chair. I think we should start with the big question, don't you? He said as his glare intensified. The walls felt like they were closing in as he realized there was only one way out of his current situation. Yes, there's only one way. Tell the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, sure. I'll get the Bible for him to put his hand on it to make that oath. Is it an oath?
Yes.
Okay. He placed his mug of ale on the desk and looked at John. Really looked at him. His sister's eyes stared back at Ned as John waited for him to speak. He wasn't proud of what he was about to do. God damn it. But it was necessary for the safety of his family. God fucking damn it. He just hoped one day he would be forgiven. He cleared his throat. I'll start from the beginning if that would please you, he asked. John just nodded as he leant back in his chair. It all started at Harrenhal. More
So
specifically,
he's
the
lost
Derk.
his spine again.
Yep.
Great.
His
He
tourney
never
of
had
Harrenhal.
one. He almost had one.
Almost had one, but it slipped out of his grasp, much like water slips out of your grasp every time you try to grab it.
He had the spine of a newborn baby. At least he started to have one.
That's when I met her, your mother, he said. Something flashed across John's eyes, but it was gone as quick as it came. Yeah, we get it. John knows he's lying. When I first saw her, she took my breath away. Everything about her was otherworldly. From her hair to her eyes, beauty personified. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't the only person whose head she had turned, he said. What's her name? John said. He couldn't tell just yet. He had to sell the lie the best he could. Please, John, I'll get to it, I promise. Just let me finish, okay? He said. Yeah, he's gonna let him finish, alright? John looked at him for a few seconds before nodding. She had so many admirers that all hope seemed lost for me. I was quiet, sullen, and a second son. A bit like you used to be in a way. He japed as he chuckled. By the look on John's face, he didn't find it very funny.
Yeah, he was never like John.
Anyways, it seemed like a wasted endeavor. I'd resigned myself to just looking at her from a distance and just settling for that. That's until your Uncle Brandon caught me staring at her during a feast. He chuckled. Your Uncle Brandon was a loose cannon.
Did those exist back then?
Cannons did not exist in Westeros.
If there were cannons in Westeros, let's just say the defense of King's Landing would have been much easier.
I mean...
You just continually blast the ships as they try to approach.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dragons. I'm like...
Oh, I meant the Stannis' attack on King's Landing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a cannon would have a much better chance against a dragon than
They wouldn't be able to get...
Scorpion.
Cannons didn't have a very good altitude.
Fair,
Fair,
but it
yeah.
had speed.
Yes, they had speed for a certain range.
Yeah, but I
and
mean,
they were
with the
not-
dragon.
And they were not easy to aim at all.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, they were harder to aim than the ballistas. I would have had more problems with Urine hitting the dragons with the cannon than the ballista.
Oh yeah, like actually hitting. But if one hit, like it would take down a dragon easier.
It would take down most dragons.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't they technically be able to build a cannon? I mean, with wildfire and...
No.
Wildfire is way too unstable.
Hellfire
Okay.
would melt the cannon.
I don't think Balerion would be taken down by a cannonball.
Maybe if he swallows it.
What if I built a Valyrian steel cannon?
Valyrian steel can be melted.
Yeah, as evident when they reforged ice.
Yeah,
No,
by
they had to
wildfire?
use magic to do that.
I wouldn't
had-
be surprised if wildfire could melt Valyrian steel, but I don't. There is no canon source to say it. Anyway, Brandon was a loose cannon, and when he had a plan, he always found a way of making it work. He said,
Dragonfire doesn't melt Valyrian steel. Why would wildfire?
"Wait, what?
Dragonfire doesn't melt Valyrian steel. Why would wildfire?
It doesn't?
No.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it."
In a few of the tales in the other books, not the main ones, they've had knights that wielded a Valyrian steel sword killed by a dragon, and their sword was completely fine.
So how is it reforged then?
Because they use magic to unravel the enchantments holding it together.
Okay.
That's why only smiths from Kaor
Cohort.
can reforge it, because they have to learn the magic needed to do so.
All right.
So technically a Valyrian steel cannon would work with wildfire, right?
Yeah.
It would.
yeah.
It wouldn't be worth it because the wildfire is so dangerous to handle.
Not with Valyrian steel, wouldn't.
And we don't know that it has the force necessary for explosions to cause the cannonball to fire. Right.
I mean, after I've seen how yeah,
Plus, how are you going to pack it down there?
Just pour it down.
That would set it off.
pour it slowly.
That would set it off.
You put
any cannon fueled by wildfire would be a suicide attack because whoever set it off would be caught in the blast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, let's see how Ned's packing.
Not always, John replied, striking him in the heart in the process. Striking him right in the heart in the process. John's face hadn't changed from the glare he'd been sending his way ever since he started this story. He sighed as he looked down. No, not always, he said, the rest of that incident going untold. It made him think, how would Brandon have dealt with John if you were still alive?
Kill him.
I probably wouldn't have kidnapped him, and if he did, would have done a better job at keeping him in line.
Yeah, pretty much.
He would have taken him to a brothel to dip his wick and cure what ails him.
Ned Stark, the timid little bunny rabbit. He caught you staring. Then what? John asked, breaking him from his sad thoughts. He swallowed the lump in his throat as he continued. He thought it would be a good idea to go over to her and ask if she would dance with me, all without telling me what he was gonna say in the first place. When he returned to his seat and told me, I was mortified. What was even shocking was the fact that she said yes, he exclaimed. John's eyes seemed to be growing softer as he went on, like he was losing himself in his story. He took a swig of his ale. By the way, the fact that he's not switching the names here,
playing the pronoun game.
Yeah. So we ended up sharing a dance, and that's when I was truly lost. I was nervous as hell as we moved around the room. I even stepped on her toes a few times, but she didn't seem to mind. It was hard to look into her eyes as it was so easy to get lost in them. Okay, calm down. You've been all lost here. You're lost here. He's losing himself in the story.
Oh yeah.
Too much losing.
He's been a loser for a long time.
I was that mesmerized by them. She had to wave her hand in front of my face to bring me back to the real world. I was mortified, but she just laughed it off. That's what she was like. She was so considerate and understanding, he said. John looked towards the window. She sounds lovely, he said. He nodded. She was, he replied. He nodded. He replied. Over the next few days, we spent every minute of spare time that we had with each other, and I couldn't have been any happier if I tried. I was living a dream, living a life that didn't seem real at that moment. A life that I found she wanted to share with me, he said. It still genuinely hurt that he couldn't live that life that he wanted. John's eyes shot up from where he was staring out the window. Share with you, as in marry? He said. There was an edge to his tone that he couldn't decipher.
John's starting to get his hopes up.
He nodded. If the rebellion hadn't happened, she would have been my wife. We planned to marry soon after we... You what? John asked, eyes devoid of softness. Yes, so much for that. Of softness they carried only a few moments ago. He sighed. We consummated our love and agreed to marry. We just needed permission. Before we can even ask. Rhaegar was crowning the wrong person after winning the joust, and we were being separated. I was returning to the Vale, and she was returning south, he said. The mug in John's hand creaked. He did not realize that he'd taken it from his side of the desk. What you are saying is that all of this is Rhaegar Targaryen's fault, he growled out. In a twisted way, he felt relieved that he wasn't taking the brunt of the blame. He would later find out that Jon's anger wasn't aimed at the King of the Seven Kingdoms. He fiddled with his thumb and forefinger, a nervous twitch, some might call it. Yes and no. It's not all his. What's her name, Lord Stark? Jon interrupted. He was disturbed by what he was seeing. Jon was almost vibrating from where he sat. What? If you let me finish my What is my mother's name? Jon growled out, his tone sending shivers through his spine as he looked into his eyes. Molten silver, swimming with emotion, clawing for a release. Whoa. He gulped. There was no going back with what he said next. Ashara. Your mother's name is Ashara. He breathed out.
Really?
Are you really surprised?
Oh, this is going to cause some problems considering Ashara already said no.
Wait, I mean,
We
already knew this was going to happen.
This up?
Dylan?
You're a little slow today.
Yeah, we
Hey.
already talked about this.
I'm splitting my attention between editing a chapter, listening to the story, and responding.
I mean, that's fair, but we knew this was gonna happen like from the start.
So let's see him punch Ned.
Yeah.
The title of the chapter is called Lies.
To be fair, that could be reference to the lie having already been told.
Maybe.
And like the reviewers are gonna be saying like Ned's such an
I
idiot.
did not see
for
that.
this.
Yeah, they're like,
Right.
I didn't think he would do it. Like,
But this is actually a good plan on Ned's part. It's not his fault that he doesn't have all the information.
there was silence for at least half a minute as the grip on the mug in Jon's hand creaked with added pressure. Half a minute. Why would it take half a
Well-
minute to just ask this question after?
I don't think Derk realizes just how long that amount of silence is.
Yeah, but
Oh.
that's a common expression.
Welcome back, Everpeach. And yes, we are lying now.
Ned is.
That is, but we are as well. We lie to ourselves every day. Jon cleared his throat as he looked towards the window again. Dane? Ashara Dane? He asked. He just nodded, but realized Jon wasn't looking at him, so replied, Yes. Jon sat there and slowly nodded. Everybody's nodding here. His face was a
Yep,
picture of
nod,
emotion.
nod, nod.
You couldn't tell if it was grief or relief from what he'd been told. They sat there for a whole minute in silence. Ooh, it's a whole minute now. Before it was half a minute, but now it's a full damn fucking minute.
So long.
Jon was obviously trying to take in the information the mug in Jon's hand was launched across the room, narrowly missing his head. Specks of ale flying from it and spraying his face as the mug impacted with the wall behind him, cracking into numerous pieces as it landed on the floor. He turned back around towards Jon when he heard the sound of a chair being pushed back. He didn't realize what was happening until Jon had him hauled out of his chair and pressed against the wood cabinet on the left side of the room. God damn, Jon just hauled him out and just pressed him on the cabinet.
Probably with one arm.
I don't have a stream delay set for anything. I'm using a service called StreamYard. Where are we? Okay, here. The pressure on his chest was immense as Jon held him there. He could practically feel the heat off of him as a crazed look took over his face. A look he would pay to never see again. Why are you lying? He spat out as the grip on his gambeson became tighter. Jon's hands were awfully close to his throat. That genuine worry for his own well-being slowly leaked into his system.
Wouldn't the guard come in after hearing the mug shatter?
He should. Yes.
Guards
But we've
can hear
already
things.
shown that guards are incompetent in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like guards can hear things until they don't. All right.
So where luck with Anbu.
Yes,
Always near but useless.
pretty much. He shook his head as he gasped out, "I'm not lying. I loved your liar, John." Wait. I have to do it in a Anakin Skywalker voice.
You can't do that. Just use a
Probably.
clip.
I probably can't. I don't have a clip. All right. Okay. Yeah, Dylan, you do it.
Yeah, Dylan, you do it.
I can't.
Can't do it.
I mean, my mind's
I'm up.
just going to Harry Potter. and
My mind
Philosopher's
keeps going
Stone.
to the "I hate you" line right now.
I hate
Liar!
you. Liar!
Liar!
John screamed into his face. He closed his eyes in fear as John said. He closed
Back
his
to a
eyes in
timid
fear.
little bunny rabbit.
Ned starting the timid little bunny rabbit, everybody. As John's right hand released from its grip on him and morphed into a fist. Morphed with. Is
He's a T-1000 now.
The impact of it hitting the cabinet behind him, making all the color in his face drain out when he hears a crack and the rattling of the contents inside the piece of furniture. He slowly opened his eyes and looked to his left when John's fist had just been a broken crater of splinters and shards of wood left in the door to his cabinet. The grip of his right hand returned to his gambeson as John hunched over and looked down at the floor, his raven curls covering his face from his view. This had gone so wrong. How had it? Wait, no. This is that. This had gone so wrong. How had it gone so wrong? Why? Why do you keep lying to me? John said, barely audible. It sounded like he was asking himself that question. He was released from John's tight grip as his son moved around the room. Wandered, he would describe it. Not once did he look at Ned as he muttered to himself, "John, it's not a lie. I still loved your mother." The chair and he's starting again. The chair in front of John was picked up and hurled across the room, breaking against the wall behind his desk and sending papers flying. John walked to the window and gripped the windowsill, still refusing to look at him. He had to gain some sort of control back from the situation. He was the warden of the North, not some child being told off.
No.
Oh shit!
What the absolute hell?
Oh, this is beautiful. This needs
No,
to be an
no.
Ultra Force.
I can't.
I repeat.
Oh God!
John's tight grip slowly slid
God
downward
damn it,
to Ned's
Peach.
tight ass. Oh yes, I like that comedy of yours.
Well,
It,
Ned would be very happy with it. He's been lusting after John for years.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm a little tiny horny honey.
You get that for that comment. All right. Over here. Can we just sit and talk about this? Maybe leave out you breaking all this furniture? He asked as he made his way towards his desk. I either break the furniture or I break you. Your choice. John growled out, still staring out the window.
Now, even Rob wouldn't get away with this, and Rob is his heir.
Wait,
Yeah.
who's Rob?
You mean Red Roach?
Yes, I mean Red Roach.
Red Roach. Okay, that's right.
But he doesn't respect Red Roach as much as he respects John. So
No, he respects Red Roach. He just doesn't lust after him.
Oh yes.
he's not in his fantasies.
Ned gulped at that. Minutes passed with nothing said. The only noises that could be heard were Ned's attempts at cleaning up the wooden shrapnel scattered behind his desk.
But God is still not coming in.
Yeah, the guard fucking... He heard glass breaking. He heard wood being punched. He heard a chair being thrown at the wall.
I
And
mean,
lots of yelling.
yeah.
And he's just chilling out there, just the case of the Mondays.
He's passed out drunk, of course.
And he said himself that no one is in there, so maybe he assumes Ned just lost it.
Oh, I got it. The guard, Jon threatened the guard, and the guard is just too scared to do anything.
It's probably that.
No, Jon was like a ninja and got in without anyone noticing.
I'm reading.
Jon is a ninja in the same way that the barbarian who spec'd charisma is a ninja. He just yells into the guard's face, "You don't see me," and the guard's all, "Okay, you're not here."
No, Jon's about as much of a ninja as Barristan Selmy is a diplomat.
Zero,
you said barbarian, and I thought in my mind immediately went to Eye of Argon.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
I still haven't watched the stream for that.
You should.
Okay.
Zero, are you going to translate that?
Sure, I'll translate it. Oh, Jon, I've been waiting for this, but now? Here? What if my wife finds out?
That's great.
Jon is John Cena. Nah, John Cena's too weak. Nothing. He's nothing compared to Jonathan Snow. All right.
Jon is Thor.
Oh. Okay.
No. That's too weak.
You already read that line. I know. Yeah.
I know you're lying. You know that, right? Jon said as he still refused to look at him. He shook his head. He couldn't know that, right? Unless, oh gods. His fears were confirmed when Jon spoke again. I've met Ashara Dane. Oh wow, straight up killing it. I've met this woman you claim to be my mother, he said as he finally turned around. He looked angry and tired as he glared at him. Funny story. She has no recollection of me. She doesn't even remember birthing me. Might have something to do with her not actually being my mother, he said, looking like he wanted to break something again. So I'll ask you again. Who is my mother? He finished.
Who's my mommy?
My mommy. Tell me who my mommy is. Come on.
Are you my mummy?
Mommy, is that you? He couldn't. He just couldn't tell him. It was too dangerous. And unfortunately for him, he was shit out of luck and excuses. So he just stood there silent as the rage and anger built in Jon's face. Well, he bellowed. I would bellow, but it's actually almost 1 a.m., so I'm not going to actually bellow. Bellowed out as he walked towards him. He mentally prepared himself for what was about to happen because deep down, he knew what was about to happen. And in the end, he definitely deserved it. Oh, he's going to get punched, isn't he?
Yeah.
Broken nose. Broken nose. Broken nose.
He shook his head as Jon advanced. I can't. I'm sorry, he said, ready and waiting. So am I, his son said as he swung. The darkness, a welcome respite from his problems.
What the? Ned has a glass jaw. He's just not he's lacking a spine. He has a glass jaw.
A single punch
knocked him out.
A punch that he knew was coming.
All right, let's see how many people love this story.
47 comments.
Ned is an incompetent.
I love your story, and this chapter is good. Still, Jon has been back now for 4 chapters, and we're still stalling. I hope we can get past Ned dancing around this country. These cliffhangers are killing me. Where the fuck is the cliffhanger in this? It ended pretty solidly.
Yeah, like
I'm
there's
pretty
not
sure-
any.
The cliffhanger is that he still hasn't gotten the information who his
No.
mother is.
No, the cliffhanger is did Ned die or not?
Yeah, probably.
Because Ned is so weak, it could have snapped his neck.
Yeah, but Jon is a good guy. He wouldn't kill him.
Fuck yes, clock that liar upside his fucking head. Oh. Great chapter. Ned is really fucked. The thing is, he can't get out anymore without telling the truth. He can't get out anymore? Is Jon like
Ned's
dogging
fucked.
his steps?
John just hit the Warden of the North, the Lord Paramount of one of the 7 kingdoms.
Yeah, but Ned thought he deserved it, so he won't say.
He
tell
should
it
be
to
in a
anyone.
cell even before Ned wakes up.
Yeah,
Path that doesn't seem to be where this is heading.
Hell, Cat should order him executed before Ned wakes up.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
it's
but
Cat.
who will know? The guard doesn't come in. He doesn't even notice. So
I'm pretty sure Cat will go looking for him, and she would accuse John.
See, this shit is why I hate some reviews, man. He's just
I-
literally saying what's happening in the story.
I would actually. This would be a great way to end the story. John is executed. Karina goes nuts and destroys the entirety of Westeros.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
John can't be executed because if Catelyn came to him, he would punch her. So
That's why she wouldn't come. She wouldn't come to him. She'd get the guards on him.
Look, this guy really thought it was it.
He already beat 3 guards like before he went to Japan. He's trained
that's right.
now. He has
I don't care who
training.
you are. You're not going to beat 500 of them.
He has a dragon. Field of Fire. Done.
That's
He
why
already killed an entire army.
Yeah, he's already destroyed entire armies. John is
Poison
going
in
to
his
find out the
drinks.
truth.
Poison in
This is-
his drinks.
God damn. You
He
can
already
tell,
gets
like,
red now.
God, I just want to bitch slap her so much.
The funny thing is, anyway, continue.
Guess not took Ned out of what?
Is that a
WF?
picture of John with a crossguard lightsaber?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's Kylo John.
Oh God, no.
Kylo John, yeah.
Kylo John.
Remember the Star Wars A Song of Ice and Fire crossovers I sent a while back?
I don't think so.
Well, there's an extra view.
I asked
How is this
I
person
asked Dylan.
surprised?
I'm surprised Ned didn't tell John. The damn chapter was titled Lies.
And surprised John resorted to violence.
That's not.
That's John's entire character.
Yeah.
Elia doesn't like being lied to. Awesome. I hope she mentions to Doran that his son tried to manipulate her. I fucking hate these people.
Like, Elliot, she straight up said she was going to tell Doran in the
Literal proof that people will read something and not know what to do after. Don't forget to unmute Noah, by the way. What do you mean unmute Noah? Is he muted?
Now he's telling me not to forget to unmute Noah. I muted Noah on Shira's server.
Why? What did he do?
He referenced
Noah, you need
something
another
that I didn't want.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That
Just
person does
introduce
not
me.
deserve a picture of Revan.
Anyway, continue reading. John just introduced Ned to Kilena. He'll sing like a bird real fast.
Bars are quite
Mark-
predictable.
When faced with an actual dragon. Hell, maybe Kilena will notice Ned isn't John's father. Food for thought.
Another great chapter. Look at this name, Eddie Marvolo Riddle.
Oh God.
Great. Great
What
name.
chapter John been back? I get it. You want this like big extravagant reveal.
I'm imagining Ed from Ed, Ed, and Eddie being reincarnated as Voldemort.
Life has many doors, Ed boy.
He might do better than Voldemort did.
Yeah, these people are actually like, I don't know how they're alive. Just complete confusion there. Like I cannot tell you how they are still alive. Drawing a total blank. But let's see. Oh, very good writing. But it kind of feels like you're dragging this. Literally, everybody's saying they want their money shot.
Yeah, they want what they already know is going to happen, and they want it now.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the worst kind of story, knowing what's going to happen.
I think that most people would agree that we want to get to the meat of the story. Baby want bottle.
What?
Baby want bottle.
Bab
Want bottle.
They do have a point in there. The scene with Elia and Quentin was unnecessary.
Bab.
I mean, he's right, but at the same time, he's actually looking forward to the meat of the story, like as if there was an actual story. Let's see.
I mean, so are we. Can you imagine once it aired?
What cliffhanger?
Forget
I'm
the part with the
imagining him getting
cliffhanger.
Bab.
This is another sort of person that they just use 5 trillion periods after they write. This was a great chapter. I'd like to ask you why. Why? Why would you put another damn cliffhanger? You're leaving killing us with suspense. Like this shit pisses me off. Like 5 trillion periods.
I'm editing USSs, and there's a lot of those for pauses.
You should punch them in the face.
Right, when they're used correctly, it's fine.
I'm replacing quite a few of them with commas instead.
I knew it was going to turn out badly. Can't wait to see what Jon will do now. Please update soon. Just for Arya, I accept mercy for the Starks.
Like a proper use of the 3 periods is when you're trying to think of a word to use, and you have a slightly longer word pause than usual.
It's just for a pause, not for thinking.
Look at this sentence.
Red Roach and the boys would be good members of the NW.
Night's Watch.
Oh, Night's Watch. Sansa would sew forever as a scepter.
Why should they be forced to go in the Night's Watch?
Yeah, like why do the kids need to be punished?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Jon can get Winterfell, of course.
No, they need to be punished because they're connected to Ned, and it would punish Ned.
Yeah.
What?
Also, notice how she didn't mention Arya. Only Sansa would sue forever.
Like Arya's the reason that they're expecting mercy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
The Starklings have done nothing wrong, even Sansa, and not like he's about to talk shit. All right, if Jon doesn't do something, Rhaegar will. Ned has dug himself too deep a grave. Just sending Ned to the wall or execution is not enough. Deception has gone on for too many years as it's trickled on to the next generation, and Ned knows this. That's why he'd rather see Jon lose it than say anything. Okay, what does this have to do with them doing nothing wrong? Nothing. Okay, let's see what this guy's reasoning is. They lied grew so much that the entire House of Stark will receive a punishment. Stark are enemy of the crown. Jon had a shitty life. Even if Ned tries to send Jon to the wall, or there's some kind of aggression, Jon at first, but Rhaegar will not see him like that. Okay, that still doesn't explain why the children would be punished.
They're thinking that like children should be punished for the crimes of their parents.
I know, but like I'm so glad that people like this do not run society.
Right.
I mean, Belle Delphine should have definitely been punished for Tom Riddle's crimes.
I mean, no. Great chapter. Fuck you, Ned. You already left kudos here. Awesome. I think he's talking to you, Myth.
Myth hasn't just left kudos on this. He has followed and favorited Radiant Arabian Nights.
Okay, Everpeach. 3 periods for when you're pausing for dramatic effect is fine. Using 3 periods every 2 seconds is not.
Yeah, it's something you use sparingly.
Damn, you're taking a break with that big of a cliffhanger?
It's not a fucking cliffhanger.
Yes,
All
it
right.
is. Ned could be dead.
Great story. Keep it up. I'm loving this story. Can't wait for more. I have an idea. Oh, someone's got ideas. All right. I love reviews with ideas. They're usually the craziest.
But they don't
shit.
want to guess and be wrong.
Oh, never mind. We're not going to be told. I'll be able to get what he wants out of Tywin. Wait, Derp.
Why wouldn't he? Tywin is not unreasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will get what he wants. Get a powerful ally, then fight against them. Aaron alternate. Okay. But worry more about people find out about Kirena. Why are you worried?
Because
How could you possibly be worried when the guy can destroy entire armies with her?
because they watch season 8 and think Kirena can be taken out with a ballista.
Oh. What kind of monster does that? I will have to introduce you someday to the monster that is known as the teenage girl.
Wait, does what?
Putting dots everywhere.
Ah.
Quite the frightening creature. You must be on your guard at all times. Good luck with your writing.
As someone with 7 little sisters, I can confirm.
Why is this guy speaking in like the French accent for Ned?
Now you have to read it in French.
All right. What the hell is Ned so worried about? Rhaegar will undoubtedly be pissed at first, but when he realizes he has another family member to get to know and a husband, finally for Rhaenys and Dany, ray of sunshine, he should be over the moon. Rewind to the rebellion. Your Ned Stark. Your head was called for by the Mad King along with your foster brother. Said Mad King killed Rickard and Brandon Stark. And at the time, Ned believed Leia was kidnapped. Then later she died. So Ned lost his sister, his oldest brother, and his father in a very short time. So maybe since the Targaryens took so much from him, in his case he wants to take from the Targaryens. But upon meeting them in Winterfell and how nice of a family Rhaegar, Elia, Rhaenys, and Dany had become, convinced him he made the wrong choice. So now, after a lot of contemplation, he decided to right his wrongs.
He
Ned
committed
could try to explain
treason.
that to Rhaegar and Elia along with any King's Guard around the area. Rhaegar isn't the Mad King, and Elia might temper any out of control rages Rhaegar might have initially. So because of that, Ned could tell Jon the truth. If he doesn't, Kirena might sniff it out.
That does
Anyway.
make sense.
This reviewer actually does have a decent idea.
No, because he still committed treason. Rhaegar is.
Well, yeah, I yes, I'm saying that this is something that Ned could try to get lenience for his family. But we all know that Derk isn't going to do anything like that.
No, the entire family will be executed.
Well, you know what?
Jon will have to go on a spree of revenge against the kingdom because of it.
I'm actually interested to see what Sir Alistair Porn thinks of this. Oh, Sir Alistair Porn agrees. Never mind. Jon has Barty has a bonded dragon. He's lingering to Winterfell, waiting to ask a question he has asked many times before and gotten no answer. Would be fun if Jon found out after Ned Stark dies, but the story feels like a Targaryen good, Stark bad story. Yep, it's quite literally what it is. Great update.
I mean,
I agree with some of the comments. It feels like the reveal is dragging out a bit too long than it should. Well, okay, is it a great update, or do you have issues with the update?
Is it really a reveal if the audience already knows it?
Exactly.
I
I
mean,
was going to leave a comment asking why you're taking so long, but I see that others have already mentioned it, so I'll just say ditto.
it depends. It depends. For example, we all knew Thanos would die in Marvel, but the reveal of him dying was still impactful because of how they did it.
Is it though?
That's not a reveal, though.
After this chapter, I'm more inclined to believe that Jon will figure out himself, and I can see Ned trying to force him to Night's Watch. It was another good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Man, Ned is such a coward. Oh, I hiccuped. Man, Ned is such a coward. Right now, him, Cat, Quentin, and Viserys are so annoying. LOL. God damn it! Fuck it. Can someone read this for me? I need to drink water.
Ned, with his
Right
cowardice,
now-
which will be eventually backfire completely on him. Kat thinks herself to be very smart and simply better than others, when we can see that she is a horrible person. She'll definitely use Jon kicking Ned's ass as a way to try to make Jon look even worse to everybody. Viserys and Quentin think too much of themselves, and I'm guessing their genius plans will all backfire. I am definitely looking forward to what comes next, especially the Starks' reaction to Jon kicking Ned's ass. I also agree with some of the other reviews that the reveal is kind of dragging at this point, but I am definitely looking forward to him finally finding out. Although at this pace, it might be a while, lol. Keep up the good work.
Good work there.
Can you imagine Ned is just saying he tripped in his
Fell down the
solar?
stairs.
No, he tripped, and that's why the chair is like.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
Tripped on my
his
chair
solar
and
was
hurt
dark when he
myself.
went in, and he tripped and fell.
A
Yeah.
bruise on your face from a punch has a very distinctive look.
Yeah,
It
but
looks like I fell down the stairs.
yeah. You
That's
know,
why when my brother had a big ass
Exactly.
bruise on his face and tried to say he hit a table when he fell, it
Limp.
didn't go over well.
Be quiet before I throw you down a flight of stairs.
I'd like to see you try.
I would definitely try. Anywho, it's a great chapter, but everything seems to be moving really, really slow. Dude, they're all so pissed at him. Happy New Year! Can't wait for the next chapter. That cliffhanger was awesome. I'm super pumped. What is the release schedule? Please update really soon.
The problem is they're not pissed for the right reasons.
Oh yeah, they're pissed for the wrong reasons.
A great chapter and well written.
Well written. God damn it. I must agree with some of the comments on here. Ended with exasperation rather than tense or gripping. Suspect. It's really hard to perfect that fine line of suspense or indecisiveness.
It's really hard, and Derk hasn't done it.
Feel where people are coming from saying you're dragging this out, but the character interactions that fill up most of the chapters is my favorite part. How is it your favorite part to have
Bad.
Elia sit in a garden and talk about her grandchild's being a baby?
To be fair, my favorite part of this entire story was a character interaction with Ramsay.
Look, he doesn't count. He actually wrote him well.
That's sad.
No, that's
And
amazing.
scary.
Can't wait, hope you update soon. This fic is so damn good. Sir Alistair Porn, he's back with another comment.
Oh, Zero,
So-
I just realized. Have you used Ramsay yet?
No.
You should take notes.
I'm not actually sure what I want to do with that plot line.
There's a lot you could do.
I mean, I don't think any. Listen, the only reason that Ramsay became prominent was because the North was in complete disarray, and the Boltons were becoming becoming more notable.
Yeah.
Whereas in A Song of Ice, Fire, and Lightning, they're still the same house as the start. Like they're not They're not advancing anywhere.
They should be. Bolton was actually a very effective commander. He should be advancing a bit.
I would say he would advance as a commander, but like since
And Ramsey
Tywin
could take over still.
Since Tywin is out of the picture, like Ramsey would take over, but it wouldn't be like nobody would know about what he does, if that makes sense.
Wait, when did Tywin die? It's been so long since I read.
He's not dead. He's captured.
Oh yeah.
Basically, Harrenhal.
Yeah, I remember.
They forced everybody out and just burned the entire castle.
And would Ramsey be legitimized in A Song of Ice, Fire, and Lightning? Because that's what allowed him to take over.
He legitimized him because he didn't have an heir. He still doesn't have an heir because Ramsey killed the last one.
The legitimization might still happen, but Ramsey wouldn't I don't think he would attack the Starks, if that makes sense.
No, but he could still become a figure of importance.
Yeah,
he could, but like
Ramsey actually had the cunning to become so.
Yeah, like he could become that, but I don't know what to do with that. Just to be honest with you, I do not know what to do with that.
Also, Tywin could still escape.
True.
Yeah, but I have how to put this. I've put a few excerpts in the story where like Harry's getting news, where it says forgot exactly what I said, but essentially I set it up so that Tyrion basically got the West.
Actually, Euron needs commanders, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, Euron definitely.
Ramsey would get along with Euron, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not sure why he would. Like how to put them together in the same instance.
Fleeing from the Starks, he goes.
Why would he be fleeing from the Starks though?
Because Ramsey can't control his impulses and ended up hunting a woman and getting caught.
It seems a bit too convenient.
It seems a little contrived.
It seems contrived, but also seems like an overused trope. Like you would see that part and be like, oh yeah, that's the part where he goes crazy and kills someone and gets caught and has to run away. Like, what if he's actually not stupid?
Well, he's not stupid.
What if he has a convoluted plan on becoming a wizard after he sees Harry's power and has a plan in place and tries to be like to get prominence so he could learn the power and then use it to kill everybody.
To be fair, the Ramsay's wearing of the skin to gain strength could actually be a magic, considering the pit fighter that Barristan fought.
That is certainly an idea that I thought about.
It was actually shown to possess superhuman attributes when fighting Barristan. His speed was definitely above the highest human can reach. And he ate hearts to gain their strength from those people after he beat them.
Oh, yeah, we could have a flaying skin sacrifice, whatever power up. Like, I thought about that, but I'm not sure how to apply it again.
Could easily be he goes crazy doing it, attacks Jon, and it's just a fight, and he dies.
I mean, true.
Oh God.
What?
Reading the Sir Alistair Porn's comment.
Okay, feel story. Okay, 4 chapters, no progress. Cliffhanger really getting old. Story overall is great. 4 chapters, no progress. Cliffhangers are really getting old. Story overall is great.
For AU.
For AU.
No, because alternate universe stories are some of the best when they're really good.
But I still feel it makes the Targaryen seem like saying that Ned Stark's too much of a douche. It's like we're dealing with Mace Tyrell instead of Ned Stark. Whom Westeros considers an honorable man and who turns out to be twice honorable once Jon Spencer, blah, blah, blah. Move the story along, you little shit. Oh, wait, no, he says please. Move the story along, please, you little shit.
No, Peach, we were talking about Zero's story. First one about that.
Wait, this thing?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about A Song of Ice, Fire, and Lightning. Anyway, in the previous chapter, Ned needs to lie. Cannot blame him. He's afraid for Kat and their children, since they were unknowing accomplices. Even if not Rhaegar, Reader, he cannot be lenient. Kat, that might have worked in canon for you. Ken and Jon is good to took after Reader. Brutus, solitary, not okay. I don't even know what this guy wants. Yeah, okay, that's fair. The suspense is killing me. Holy shit. When I first started reading, I was just bored and I saw it on the John Rainey's tag. Now I check every few days to see if there are any new updates. This is progressing wonderfully. Your writing is beautiful, and I'm thoroughly impressed by how quickly you managed to update. Overall, just fucking amazing. I am loving it and looking forward to the next update.
I'm disappointed in this person's base intelligence. Why would they have to check for updates? You can subscribe to a story.
Yep, and it's Visenya the Dragoness.
Yeah.
The Starks are gonna freak out when the dragon shows up, says the one-eyed wolf. What does Optimistic Prime think? This has become ludicrous. The levels this story is going to be preventing Jon and Ned from telling. Wait. This has become ludicrous. The levels this story is going to preventing Ned from telling Jon. Okay, I understand the sentence once I figured out how the structure works. I've never read a Ned character more unlikable. It's not that he's unlikable; it's that he's badly written.
Did that wolf have an eye patch edited onto its head?
I think
Didn't
so.
you read Targaryen Dragons?
Wait, what?
Zero? Didn't you read Targaryen Dragons?
Targaryen dragons?
Peach,
Yeah.
I'm an AO3 user. USS is an AO3 user. Zero has used AO3.
Yeah, I have In Pursuit of Magic on here, but like I'm thinking of deleting it.
I'd say Myth, but he left kudos on this story.
I'm also an AO3 user.
Two things that I wondered on my first read through. Why did version stay back instead? What? Version? Oh, Garion.
Oh,
I love how you can actually decipher that.
Well, I mean, I saw ION, and then I saw stay back instead of coming to Westeros, and I was like, okay, that makes sense.
We don't know why he stayed back. There's no reason for it.
He wanted the Japanese poon, all right?
Look, he's a total weep now. He can't live without Japan.
Well, to be honest, I can't blame him for that reason. Not Raoul's, but Zero's.
It's not like he can watch his anime in Westeros.
And look at Everpeach breaking out the Latin here. He thinks we understand Latin.
Everpeach, stop using Google Translate.
Yeah.
He's just quoting a famous line.
and I really expected him to get Arya Dragonsteel, or at least a Valyrian Steel Needle.
Valerian Steel.
And he might have written it, but he didn't write it good, Everpeach.
Deegan.
You
You guys have any Deegan Steel?
Oh, God.
I don't know why it's so
Deegan Steel is a step above even Dragon Steel.
Yes.
Of course it is.
Someone's actually using logic.
Oh, this is great.
Did the guard at the door not hear all that noise?
I like reply to this.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
it's from the Bible.
Nope.
And I knew what it meant.
Wait,
I'm just
God,
telling you to
Brandon.
stop using Google Translate.
this is Ultra Chad manliness.
Jon is so manly. He terrified the sound waves into not leaving the room.
What the fuck is wrong with my profile picture with this white bar over here?
No idea.
Whatever. It's not important enough to fix. I love your version of John so much.
Oh no.
Because everyone has that bar. Look at the other ones.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Everpeach, you literally said use Google Translate.
He used Google Translate on the French. Reading old chapters that I skipped in favor of reading events of at Tourney and later. Knock that line, bitch,
Yeah.
out. Oh shit. Like, yeah, this is what people care about. Even in the show, they cared about people getting their comeuppance, people getting roasted, people making jokes on screen. It's like all the stupid ass MCU movies.
Hey, the MCU movies are good.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. They did a lot of that stupid make jokes shit, which is what made them popular in the first place.
Everpeach, Google Translate can't translate French for shit either. You can't translate anything for shit.
Google Translate is honestly a really bad way to translate.
Like,
That thing you sent me,
it's fine for single words. It just doesn't do grammar well.
That
Even
sentence
for
you
single
sent
words.
me, I had to like rearrange it in my head before saying it in English. Next fucking guild will be a fucking Dorian, blah blah blah. He's looking forward to things. Okay. Oh, look at this picture.
Oh God.
Not much to say about this chapter. Jon is angry, I get that, but the threats aren't really helping at all. Ned is well within his rights to act on Jon's outburst, but his guilt won't let him. Okay?
For a second, I thought that was Sam.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Why do you keep doing that?
But
It
Doing
doesn't
what?
really annoy me. It's not on my profile.
I don't know. You kind of seem annoyed right there.
It's easy to find out who you are.
Nobody knows who I am.
They literally have to search up Zero Rewind. Your fanfiction profile is the first thing. Go to that and find out you're an author, and they have your real name.
Sounds like you've Googled me before.
Yes, so I need to find your fanfiction profile.
Why not just go to his links and stuff on the server?
Because sometimes I'm not in Discord on a device, and I don't want to log in on that device.
I love how you had that in your clipboard.
All right. Actually, what does happen if I Google myself? Let's see. Zero Rewind. Oh, hey, fanfiction. Oh, my website. Oh, snap.
Your website is number 2.
Wait, your Twitter. I didn't know you
Yeah.
had a Twitter.
Yeah, I have a Twitter that I barely use. Yeah. Oh shit! I remember finding
Oh,
this.
look. Your actual name right there.
Where?
Patreon.
On your Patreon.
I mean, yeah, I have it as my name on there, but people
Your-
look up Zero Rewind.
Your 4th search result.
4th is my YouTube.
Oh, 3rd.
Yes.
No, 4th. Your
Yeah, you're
fanfiction
right.
is the
It is
third.
4th. That's the first. Yeah, I lied. What's this? Okay.
That's the one who
Alright.
copied your story.
That's right. It's right. Oh yeah, this dude
After-
makes the stash. Yeah, that's right.
321 of my SI stash.
Okay, I see what he's doing.
I do not support this.
Did you ever
Uh,
find your book published elsewhere?
I have
Bomba time.
never found it. Well, I mean, I did find a link to it, and I made a DMCA claim, and it disappeared. But I don't think it was actually a link to my book. But I could look. Drag Bellmead free PDF.
Myth, do you hear me? It is time for the Star Bomba.
Eh. Zero doesn't seem bothered by it. So.
What? What's up?
Oh, there's a role on Shiro's Discord that gets pinged when we find people posting other people's stories on Web Novel.
Oh, I mean, listen, web novel do not care about anything. Like you could waste you'd be wasting your time trying to take.
Oh no,
something
we've
off of
gotten one removed. We've gotten at least one removed.
it doesn't really bother me because honestly,
I mean, it's web novel.
This dude is basically telling people that I have a good story, so like they'll look it up.
Yeah.
This dude is a free advertisement for me. I don't even have to pay him. He's just doing it for free. What a great guy. So, the stream is done, by the way. We don't have anything more to read. Like, we can just do whatever at this point.
How would you guys feel about an army of villains?
An army of villains? Dude, I can barely handle one of you.
Imagine it. 1,000 of me.
Want to see any public meltdowns?
Sure. Oh, was that Nerdrotic?
Who, this guy? That's not Nerdrotic.
Nope.
No, this dude's too chunky to be Nerdrotic.
Well, you
Isn't Nerdrotic a skinny dude?
Yeah, he's pretty skinny.
Yeah. I don't want to see the boobies. Get out of here. Public freak out, and I don't want any compilation. I just want a single public freak out. Just a single one. What's this? A forum link? Oh. Huh. Is it downloadable? Download instructions.
For what? Your book?
File not found. Okay. First link then. I've requested the file. Show download. Let's see if this actually downloads. See what I get.
I'm not going to bed tonight.
Who's going to bed? You're not?
He said he's not going to bed.
Why? You should go to bed.
Nope. I'll just stay up and then go to bed early tomorrow so I can get up for work.
This site is like stupidly difficult to use. No, this isn't a good link. Well, it says it's been downloaded.
I wonder if I should unmute Noah yet.
No, keep him muted.
He mentioned the thing that almost broke me in King of Magic.
What was that?
There were a lot of things that almost broke you in King of Magic.
I'm pretty sure every inheritance cycle reference broke you.
That's what he mentioned.
Ah.
So
okay, never mind. I know what you're talking about.
Like Arya being a waifu.
Keep that fucker.
It's like it's like we were talking about King of Magic, and I said I don't want to talk about crossovers creeping up, and he commented to that inheritance cycle. So I muted him for 69 for 20 minutes with the word no.
I mean, I should message Radiant Arabian Nights and ask her to make Arya a wife in King of Magic. Just to see you break.
None of these meltdowns seem fun to watch. Like it's all political.
You hate me, don't you, Dylan?
So
I enjoy you, but I also enjoy seeing people break. I need to find out how to break zero.
I'm looking forward to a chapter next week.
Yeah, let's see. Next chapter will be called Truths.
Well, we all know what's going to happen there.
John's gonna learn the truth.
No, he's going to learn all the truths.
Oh yes.
Not just that Rhaegar.
Read your comments. Oh, read your comments. Okay. It wasn't my intention to drag it out and piss people off. Apologies. Enjoy the chapter.
Oh, I feel a little bad for him now.
So
He put a chapter up and they just raked him over the coals.
I mean, he has a slow burn tag.
that should have been what. Maybe he put it in after that.
Possible. Actually, on that note, I should put a slow burn note on In Pursuit of Magic,
Very much so.
or rather slow boil, because who likes burning aside from Aerys Targaryen?
I mean,
The ball.
give any guy a flamethrower and they'll start burning shit.
Look, if you give me a flamethrower, I'm gonna like set the entire planet on fire. You're not supposed to use that on people. Why'd you give it to me then?
All right, I'm off to eat breakfast.
Yeah,
Have fun.
no, we should end it here anyway. I think I'm dragging this on too long.
Yeah.
We will, 10 minutes after the stream, I guess enough time to just like relax a bit. We'll watch a movie.
Oh.
Yep.
Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, Dylan, you're probably gonna go to sleep.
Nope.
Never mind. We'll watch Wolf of Wall Street then.
See you, all of you viewers. This has been your God King speaking. Dylan signing off.
Don't listen to Dylan. He's delusional. However, I am the Beard King, and you can take that to the bank.
I wonder how you would react if someone cut your beard off in the middle of the night.
To the bank to meet lawyer Goblin Justfinger.
So, you would be seeing me in the newspaper. Arkansas man goes on rampage after losing his beard.
You'd have an interview with one of the victims who survived. He just wouldn't stop killing everyone. They told him they were sorry, but he just kept going. He cut through them like they were butter.
He cut through them like Gimli cutting through orcs.
Like a saw blade through plywood.
It was a massacre.
There was so much blood. So much.
And he took everyone's beards to make his own again.
He braided them together.
Oh God.
Onto the remnants of his beard.
The Arkansas man to put all Florida men to shame.
Pretty much. Oh man.
Now that would be a good make for one shot.
All right.
Zero, you should write that.
No. I mean,
you should.
Hagrid. I make a Harry Potter fanfic. Hagrid goes on a rampage because Draco Malfoy cut his beard off.
Hagrid on a rampage would be fucking scary.
I'm saying, like,
freaking
like the premise would sound stupid. Like Draco cuts Hagrid's beard off, and then like I wouldn't say exactly what happens, but I would say he does not react to it well. And then in the story, I'll have him kill every single person in existence.
Oh, like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Sure. Like Harry comes to visit him for tea, and Hagrid just like grabs him and snaps his neck in one move.
With his trusted dog Fang beside him.
Hagrid, how are you today?
That would be great.
And you have Hermione screaming, right? And Ron just losing his mind. What have you done, Hagrid? I'm gonna go tell the headmaster. And Hagrid just like he just takes 2 steps because Ron is taking like 10 steps. But since Hagrid is so big, he just doesn't need to walk as much. He just grabs him by the head, lifts him up in the air, and just pulls his spine out.
Oh God!
Shit. I'm
He
imagining.
pinches the back of his neck and just pulls his spine out of his body.
God, fatality. I'm imagining Hagrid SI. An intelligent Hagrid.
Wait, are you
Would
saying
be-
Hagrid is stupid?
No, not stupid, but you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? You said about Hagrid.
I'm not saying anything. Hagrid is fine, but he doesn't have the most common sense, and he's not the most intelligent.
You know what I just thought about? I thought about this. Have you ever seen this?
No.
This is stupid. Just gonna like throw it out there. This is pretty dumb. But you want to watch it?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh wait, you can't hear anything. Not because this is off. But let me just adjust the options.
But Hagrid as a Dark Lord that's intelligent
Your
would be
screen.
terrifying.
Share the Chrome tab instead of the entire screen because you might hear yourself if I don't just share the Chrome tab.
Imagine a Voldemort who could shrug off pretty much anything less than lethal damage.
Can you hear yourself speaking, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't hear an echo if that's what you're asking.
Oh, no.
Okay, we're good.
You're a wizard, Harry. I'm a what? Harry, you're a wizard. I'm a what? A wizard, Harry. I'm a wizard? Yes, Harry, you're a wizard. But I'm just Harry. Well, just Harry, you're a wizard. But I'm just Harry. No, just Harry, you are a wizard. Listen here, Hagrid, I'm just Harry. No, Harry, you are a wizard. I'm not a wizard, Hagrid, I'm just Harry. Listen, Harry, you're a wizard. No, Hagrid, I'm just Harry. Harry, for God's sake, you're a wizard. A wizard? I'm just Harry. No, just Harry, you're a wizard. I'm not a wizard, Hagrid, I'm just Harry. No, just Harry, you are a wizard. I'm not a wizard, Hagrid. Harry, you are a wizard. Listen here, Hagrid, you fat oaf. I'm not a fucking wizard. For God's sake, Harry, what is with this language? You're a fucking wizard. I don't give a fuck, you fat, hairy bastard. I'm not a fucking wizard. Listen, Harry, you're going to go to Hogwarts and do spells and shit, and you're going to be fucking pleased about it. I don't want to do your fucking spells, you basket case. Stick it up your fucking dick hole! My fucking what? Hagrid, you're pushing me over the fucking line! No, I'm not! You are a wizard! You're gonna go to Hogwarts, you're gonna do spells, you get a wand, you get a fucking owl, it'll deliver your mail. Deal with it, you twat! I'm gonna fucking put my dick in the owl! When I was younger, and that was a bad move. You are a wizard. I'm a what?
Oh, God.
You're a wizard, Harry, for fuck's sake, listen to me. Hagrid, I've been through this. I don't give a bloody fuck what you think. This is not negotiable. You come with me, you specky, bull haircut, fuck, small dick, skinny cunt, eat more wanger. I'll fucking say you had a beard on fire! Oh, Ned, you little specky cunt, square to go like! I'll fucking bust you! Right, you little wank game. If you don't get your act together, I'm gonna drag you to Hogwarts. You'll get a wand, you'll get an owl that'll deliver you a shitey mail, and that'll be that, and you'll enjoy it, you chinky. I'll fucking gnaw your arm off, Hagrid! Listen, you get near my arm and I'll slap you across the face like a little bitch. I'll pump you silly. Oh, now you cunt. Suck my pixie dick, you chubby coon. I'll rupture your fucking anus with my massive bear cock. I'll rip your giant dick off and bash you across the jaw with it. Let's go right now. Bring it on.
What the fuck?
That was great.
Yeah, you guys made me think of that.
Oh,
All right, this is a good one to end it on. We should like have a section of the stream where we just watch cringe videos or something.
I'm up for that.
It's
Now
like
this
people
is-
being absolutely stupid.
Now this is your God King signing off. I will have a clone army of myself within the next few years.
Very well. Goodbye then.
I guess I should thank you. But that'd be out of character. Maybe you should just throw an insult my way instead. Yeah, that sounds better. Still, I owe you.
Bye-bye.